Hello, good evening, and welcome everybody to Llandiadog Harbour Station. And tonight we are going to be driving the newly released London and South Western Railway T3. I'm joined tonight by Sam of Blastpipe Productions and Chris of Caledonia Works.
Hello.
Hello.
So let's have a quick looky at the engine. So I've already said this on the Facebook. I think this is by far the prettiest engine in Train Sim so far, Chris. The attention to detail is up to your usual standard. I mean, I think this loco is one of the prettiest engines ever built, regardless. There's just something about it that's...
It's not perfect, but it's not far off.
I wouldn't say perfect because, anything Great Western is perfect and it can never match that. But, we'll gloss over that. Which headboard do I... Not headboard, disc code. I can never remember the disc codes. I think the one I was using was actually London to Brighton.
Close enough.
Something like that.
They're so confusing because it's like route codes, not like train codes.
Yeah, that's what makes it really weird.
I just put on whatever looks good, to be honest.
Go for discs. Like ones.
I'll put all the discs on.
You could do the bug-eyed one, where you just put one on each side of the smoke box with the little dot in the middle, so it looks like it's got little eyes.
How do you... Oh, hang on. How do you do the dot?
It is control 2 and 3, and you just keep cycling through until you get the dot in the middle.
Oh. It doesn't give me the dot.
I think it's one of the last ones.
No, there is no dot. It just goes...
Oh, yeah, you're driving the southern one, that's why.
Ah, right. Okay, that explains it. Fair enough.
They got rid of LSWR head codes later on.
Fair enough, then.
Quick question for you, Chris. How many Pullman coaches do you reckon it can handle?
Ooh.
I don't know, honestly, because it's not the most powerful thing, but it's definitely not weak. So
I'll go for about 10.
probably, yeah, that's probably good.
I did install the modification that you sent as well.
Oh, okay, so you will actually be able to do something. That's good.
Before we do set off from the harbour station, I probably should mention we're using the Digital Tractions LSWR coaches. How many we got? 5, I think. And a baggage car. Yeah, 5 coaches and a baggage coach.
Do you have the patch that I did for those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the patch for these ones and the patch for the Great Northern ones as well. Pizza's arrived. Thank you. I love you. She's ignoring me.
You were talking to the pizza then, weren't you, Reese?
I was, yeah. You caught me. Right, blow her off. I'm going to set off from Harbour Station. So what loco were the sounds recorded from then?
The LSWR T9 that's at the Swanage Railway.
Oh, the T9.
The equivalent, yeah.
Nice.
It was the closest thing we could get to the T3 because obviously the T3 is not going to be running for probably at least 8 or 10 years. Maybe.
I think she's at the flour mill. The real version is... Yeah, she's at flour mill right now.
Yeah.
The last I heard, she was having her firebox removed from the boiler.
Yeah. I think they're currently getting funds to overhaul her right now.
Yeah, I think so.
But she's in bits and slowly being worked on.
The one thing I will say about the lads at flour mill is they do a good job.
Yeah.
They definitely do a good job.
I'm definitely looking forward to it because it's been 73 years since the T3 last ran.
That long?
Yeah, it's been since the 40s, 1945.
Jeez. So she was preserved at the end of the second... Not preserved, she was withdrawn at the end of the Second World War. So was she given to the National Collection, or...?
I think the Southern had her stored somewhere, maybe Eastleigh or something like that.
Oh,
and then I think in the 50s it was given to the NRM when it was first formed or something like that.
Nice.
But it definitely puts into perspective, if this engine's going to be the first one to run in 73 years, then, I mean, anything can really run
Oh, of course, if you put the money into it, anything can run.
I've had people tell me like, oh, there's no chance it's ever going to run, and I always say, you didn't think the T3 was going to run either after 73 years, so...
Well, the T3 was declared a write-off, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same, lots of engines have been they've said they're never going to run again, but they can, it's just that it's work and money.
Yeah.
And it's just steel at the end of it.
Just requires incentive.
Exactly.
And again, it's also worth noting it's a question of whether or not you want to preserve it or you want to restore it.
Yeah.
Something a lot of people get confused on, because I can tell you now, absolutely no running engine, restored engine, will be preserved. It's not original.
Yeah.
It's just not possible to do.
Which is kind of annoying, because they didn't used to care about the whole originality argument. That's only a recent thing.
Yeah. But to be honest, I'd much rather see an engine restored than, preserved in the condition it's in, unless it's got some sort of incredibly special reason not to do it up.
Yeah.
The only
I think
time
as well...
Sorry, go on, Chris.
You go ahead.
All I was going to say is, the only sort of times I would say yes to not preserving it, or not restoring it, is if there was some really special reason, like if
like copper knob?
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it copper knob? One that suffered damage in an accident in history or something like that?
Yeah, it's got
Copper
shrapnel
knob.
from
Yeah.
Oh,
lips.
that's right, from the bombs, yeah. I wouldn't restore that because that is part of its history.
Yeah.
The same as Stephenson's rocket at the Manchester Science Museum. She's
It's at
got
the NRM now.
Oh, at the NRM now, is it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's got its own little plinth.
She's had so many modifications done during her working life. You could say that's not original, but it's part of its history.
It's an interesting one as well, the rocket, because it's sort of... The original design was never intended to be a production design. It was always built as a one-off experiment, and so it's quite fitting, really, like its entire working life it was just experimented on.
Because that one was the one built for the Rainhill trials, wasn't it?
Yep,
You're talking about the one that's in black and looks nothing like the original rocket, right?
that's the one.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
The one that Guion did an exported model of.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ooh, Highland Winter Wolf has donated $10. Says, I hope you, Sam and Chris are doing well. Tuned in from work while getting a full trailer load of sheetrock unloaded. Okay, awesome. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. See you nice. Oh, Tom is watching the chat. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the chat. If you see Callum Hancock, Grey the Floydian Circle, tell him hopefully I've fixed the Streamlabs bot, so you should be able to make comments now in the chat. Streamlabs, last time we streamed, just decided to basically blitz everybody in the chat. I don't know what happened to it. I think it just went on a bit of a killing spree and just started banning everybody.
It just saw
I had that happen to me recently too.
Streamlabs just decided it hates people.
And who can blame it?
I mean, I thought the laws of robotics sort of forbid it from hurting people, but it wanted to.
They're learning.
They're evolving.
Din, 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 din.
Dump the brakes. Yeah, going way too fast for this. No. You've overshot again, Ralph. But actually, to be fair, it's only the loco and the baggage coach which have overshot, and one compartment of a third, and it's third class, so that's fine. They don't need to get out.
They don't pay for...
They don't pay
stopping on the
enough. No,
platform.
that's right, they didn't pay enough, so whatever. So we made it to the first station without crashing, that's always a good start. Screenshot time! I will be making...
Really enjoyed making that loco.
I bet the lining out of it was horrible.
Oh yeah, I think all of the liveries were pretty easy to do, apart from Adams. Adams was a particular pain because rounded corners are always awful.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as the long boiler though. That is the worst livery I've ever tried to texture.
Sorry. I'm just eating garlic pizza bread and it's gone down the wrong pipe. Trying to do two things at once. I thought the Southeastern and Chatham livery was one of the worst or trickiest ones you did.
It's definitely up there, but the thing with the long boiler livery is it's very close to Brighton Stroudley Green livery, so you get those like rounded, pointed corners, and you have to do it. I think there's like 5 different lining styles on the long boiler, which was a particular pain to do.
That's
Southeastern Chatham livery is pretty easy, but it's like 8 different colors you have to put in the livery.
I love the whistle on this engine. That's from the T9 as well, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I love the Adams whistle as well because it's got 2 whistles, and one's just a tiny little whistle for the brake, for the guard, and then the other one's just your main whistle, which you have on right now. But it sounds like a little tiny Bassett Loc loco.
Oh, I love that. Rayful Wellard has donated €2. Hi, Rayful says, I would like to join your chat, please. Unfortunately, we only have a limit of 2 or 3 people per live stream, so I'm afraid not. Sorry, dude. Right, let's notch back up and let's get settled in for the first stint at 40 miles an hour.
Reese, I'm thinking we'll want a crossover at Penwyth because I haven't set off yet.
You haven't set off yet?
Nope, I've not set off yet.
Alright, no worries. It looks really smart in this Southern livery. So for those of you thinking of buying this loco, head on into the link in the description below, go to Caledonia Works website, and you can buy the LSWR T3. Is it $14.99? I think
Indeed.
it is. There we go. Tom, Dark DJ Productions. Hi Tom, it's the one that goes chuff. Yes, this is definitely the one that goes chuff. Spud607 says, are you going to play Derail Valley Overhauled? At some point, probably, yes.
I've thought about getting that, I just haven't made the commitment yet.
Just realised it might be a good idea to put some water in the boiler. Seeing as I'm down to 0.3 in the gauge.
Oof.
Nicely handled. I'm just having to restart train sim because it derped.
Excellent.
Basically, you know when you have your controller plugged in?
Yeah.
If for whatever reason it becomes disconnected, train sim freaks out on you.
Does it?
Yeah, basically, if your controller becomes disconnected, it says lost connection to controller, please reconnect to continue.
Oh.
Which is fine. The issue is when you reconnect it and it won't let you continue.
Oh.
Honestly, this game is just such a pile of pants.
Right, we're at 40 miles an hour now. Hopefully I can fill the boiler back up. Tret is asking what train is that? This is the London and South Western T3 with digital traction coaches. But yeah, going back to your comment, was it Spud 607? I will probably get Derail Valley. I'm not sure when it'll be.
When it brings out multiplayer. I mean,
Probably,
what?
yeah, when it brings out multiplayer, probably. I love all the cab views as well. You know, where you cycle through and go and sit on the front of the loco.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice, just to, you know, because sometimes I'm just in the mood to just find a weird place to sit on the engine and just film it.
I've done that before. It's a weird thing.
I just killed all the volunteers again for about the 50th time.
That's a problem you won't have very soon, unless you go and modify the route, but I wouldn't recommend it.
No. When you've modified it, Sam, I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah, you should be able to put all the people down in scenario editor rather than route editor.
Yeah, that's what I plan to do. Although actually thinking about it, putting it in the route editor was easier because then I can edit it, edit the positions of people and then load back into the same scenario with the locos in the same place.
Yeah, you know, it might be worth whenever you do that, just make a copy of the route rather than doing it on the same version. So just like clone the route and call it like Over the Hills and then whatever scene it is or whatever episode it is or something.
That's what I did with the one episode.
Yeah.
But I completely failed at reducing my speed for the cliff top there.
Going through it's enough for me at the moment. Speaking of which, enjoy those dark tunnels while you can, because the tunnels are about to get an upgrade.
What do you mean, enjoy the dark tunnels? Are you going to change them, are you?
I'm replacing all the tunnels as part of the upgrades.
Oh. Do you want to explain to all the people watching about what you're planning to do?
Basically, I'm scrapping your route.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a lovely route, but it's old. And there are now a lot more better assets that we can use for stuff. So I'm going through and basically I'm teaming up with Trolley Fodder, Jared. He's going to rework the natural scenery, so the trees, the bushes, that kind of thing. And I'm going to rework the manual scenery, so buildings, bridges, tunnels, all that stuff. And basically we're just going to replace everything with modern assets and try and make it a bit more fitting for the story we're going for Over the Hills. So as part of that, it's like redoing all the stations and platforms, which for anyone who's a member of the AWP Facebook group, I put a screenshot up there not so long ago showing that.
You've probably also seen that Sam has basically been brought onto the Over the Hills team as a co-writer.
Yep, basically I'm looking through all of Reese's ideas and going, that's terrible, ugh, no, don't do that. Awful, no LMS in there whatsoever, we can't possibly do that.
Except for the fact that, like, most of it is LMS. Come on, you gotta give me some credit.
Yeah, to be fair, I have actually, I've swayed you to the London North Western, haven't I?
Yes, there's gonna be a coal tank.
There's gonna be a coal tank.
There you go, everybody, you heard it here first.
Not just that, but the route is actually going to be heavily set in the London North Western region. Yeah, basically the whole backstory is the local, is it the local Earl? Is it the local Earl that builds, like, or Duke or something? Anyway, basically a local rich guy builds the first railway and does a terrible job of it. And then the London North Western take over and do a good job of it, and then it goes to the Great Western in the grouping period because of its location. And then it goes to BR, and then it gets scrapped. But yeah, so we're reworking things like the big locomotive depot, which I've spent all afternoon just trying to lay out the points for. But yeah, redoing it using more London North Western assets and Great Western assets and all that kind of stuff. So It's going to be a long project, but it's going to be worth it when it's done.
Oh, most definitely. There's a question for you. The train sim guy asks you a question, Chris. If you had absolutely no restrictions, so completely free to choose this yourself, what is the locomotive you would like to make for Train Simulator the most?
I guess restrictions is in, like, the game not being poop.
I get anything. The game being poop, lack of drawings, lack of research material, anything you can. If you could make any loco.
I don't know. Because I could make any loco. But
fair enough.
It's just whether I want to make that logo. That's a question.
You've got to have the motivation, haven't you? It's a project, and it's sort of like, if you're not going to be able to see it through till the end, is there any point starting it?
Yeah, and plus it also goes with, do I have the skills to properly do it justice?
Yeah.
If I was to make anything in Train Sim right now, and not with any barriers or anything like that, probably I would love to make a Princess Royal, but obviously BMG is a lot better at making standard LMS stuff, and I know he plans on making one anyway, so...
Nice.
But yeah, I would love to make a Princess Royal, because they're just undoubtedly the best Pacific in my opinion, but...
Personally, I prefer the Coronations, but I do like the Princess Royals. I think if you got a bit of a mixture between the two, then you'd be bang on the money, but...
Plus, you know, a Princess Royal would be the closest thing you'll ever get to a Great Western Cathedral.
True.
It does surprise me that you'd say the Princess Royal, though, to be honest. Because I thought you'd chosen something...
Well, I mean, I don't really do grouping locos that much, because it's just kind of not my interest, really. With a few exceptions, but I just think they're the nicest LMS logo. LMS built logo.
Yeah, they are nice locos.
I unfortunately don't have the skill modeling level to make something like that. At least not to the standard it should be.
Funny you say that, because to be perfectly honest, I think a lot of the pre-grouping engines are more complicated than, you know, the more modern stuff.
That's true. I mean, but Victorian engines kind of have the simplicity about them, because Victorians were like, oh, we don't like pipes and valve gear on the outside. We like it to look pretty.
Yeah,
so everything complicated is on the outside.
Yeah. They did have a tendency of hiding everything. It made maintenance a pain, but it made them look nicer.
Yeah. I mean, BMG, who's a lot better than me, has set a standard than for LMS types, so it's not really much point in doing it.
Yeah,
I can't meet that standard, so at least not currently. I'm working with some other advanced train sim developers to get more of what people want as far as like advanced locos go.
See, it's alright, but to be perfectly honest, I think it is a danger going too far into the advanced section.
I'll say that I will never be Mesh Tools or Bossman Games or something like that, because to be honest, I don't want to be. I want to be my own person, and I want my stuff to stand out as being different.
What I really like about your stuff is the fact that you can just hop in it and drive it.
Yeah.
And I know people want different things for train sim. I mean, sometimes I feel like a challenge and I want something advanced, but a lot of the time I want an engine that looks good, sounds good, and you can drive without having to watch it every 2 seconds to see if it does something similar.
Yeah.
Guion says he wants a steam chest.
I mean, I want more playability rather than, you know, because you should be able to have fun. So,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
the Super D, not knocking mesh tools, but I can't drive that thing. This thing's not fun to drive.
I've done a few
At least
live
for me.
streams of that, and I can't drive it either, Chris. You're not the only one.
I think Picture Works and Bossman Games hit it right when it comes to advanced stuff, but that's just my opinion. So
I think certainly with Bossman games like Willy Auto Fireman and that, so like if you do have advanced mode, you can turn on that, so like you only have to worry about the driving.
yeah, the new simulation that I've been updating with my locos in the T3 is the first loco to be released with it. Was put together completely from scratch with help from another advanced Steam developer, which I won't name, obviously, but yeah, we're slowly getting to the point where maybe we can make some advanced stuff in the future. But most people think that, like, oh, you should make Steam chests and all these advanced features that other people do it, and most people don't realize that it's just been me and Guion this entire time. We don't get help from other developers, and nor do they offer it. So we kind of like have to wrap around everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Which is why Guion is like really good, because he's done all of the stuff that we do on our locos completely out of his own head, with little understanding of how train sim works. So, you know, we'll probably get there eventually. It's just
The thing
we're
is,
working on our own.
what
Not
I've seen,
even
Chris, is every model that comes out, you could see an improvement. You know, from the 8112, which came out, what was it, 2 years ago now?
2 to 3, I think, something like that.
It's probably almost 3 years, and since then you've seen every year that they get better and better, and each time features get added. And it's, you know, you're one of the few developers that does actually go back and upgrades previous models, you know?
Yeah, I think as well, small details make the biggest difference. For like, on instance on the T3, I pushed the boundaries a bit more. I brought back animated brake rigging, but I also have animated the cylinder cocks on the front cylinder, so they actually animate when you open them from the exterior view. And every single control in that cab animates from the exterior camera. But it's just small things like that. And I wish other developers would do it, especially with the camera views, because no other developer has done the camera views that we do, which is surprising, because everyone really loves it.
You'd think, especially if you're going for like an advanced simulation loco, you'd think you'd want all animation there as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing with like playability. I want more playability out of a loco than just, you know.
Yeah.
Because you should want to play with it like all the time and never get old.
Yeah.
The thing I love about some locos in Train Sim is when you can just get in the cab and you literally feel that you're in a cab of a machine. So, like, do the valves work? Does it rattle, shake around? Does it feel that you're in the cab of a steam engine, basically?
Yeah. I think the hardest thing for Train Sim, though, is just sounds in general.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I do pre-grouping stuff, and most of it's non-existent anymore, or hasn't run in eons. So you kind of got to make do with what you got.
The little stuff that is available will almost certainly only be limited to heritage line speeds, which means 25 mile an hour tops.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at these cylinder cocks. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like for a full, for a mainline loco, when you can only get it at 25 miles an hour, you've got to make the sounds it from somewhere. So it's. Yeah.
Plus, Train Sim is just so limited when it comes to anything.
Yeah. We all know how derp Train Sim is.
Maybe one day we'll get that perfect train simulator to come.
Yeah, I think what we need is a game similar to Train Simulator, but just with more stability.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that if you take the best of what Train Simulator offers and the best of what Trains has to offer, you could make a hell of a train simulator.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's funny. You know, we were mentioning like advanced stuff and all that lot.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to see done, I'd like to see advanced stuff done on an industrial rather than a big
Yeah.
mainline. And the
Would it be a
reason for
Hudsville
that,
Clark by any chance?
oh yeah, but that's just my personal preference. But just in any industrial in general, purely because if you had like a little shunting engine or something, but you had like the advanced firing, the advanced driving, all the animation and everything, and even if you just used it for shunting wagons around and that, I think it'd be so much more fascinating trying to drive something in that situation than it would be just thrashing it along the main line.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
one of
you
my
think
favourite... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you think as well, because when you think of like advanced locos like BMG stuff, most pre-grouping locos are really not that complicated. They're very simple locos compared to, say, a Black 5. There really wouldn't be that much difference between what you get now out of my stuff and the advanced stuff, bar probably steam chests and a few other things. There's really not that big a difference.
Yeah, it's... People often forget, I mean, you're working with Victorian locos, and they were still developing all these techniques in the first place. A lot of them didn't actually exist yet.
Yeah. Plus you have to think, when you come to making advanced stuff, on pre-grouping locos, you hit kind of a barrier, because say you have like the Black 5. You can go out and see a Black 5, you have people who've driven Black 5, they drive Black 5s. However, when you're making a pre-grouping loco, you don't have any basis to make the simulation, because obviously people who drove these locos are long gone.
Yeah.
So you have no idea of knowing how it's supposed to drive or how it's supposed to act, so you kind of have to go off of imagination or nothing, really. So it makes it a bit harder to get it perfectly accurate.
I suppose the best thing you can do is just look at what little performance records exist.
Exactly. Which is what we do. What were you saying, Reese?
Sorry, I'm stuffing my face with pizza a minute.
Ah. But yeah, we'll eventually get to the point where we can make advanced stuff. It just takes a little longer since we're on our own.
Yeah.
You will get there.
And to be perfectly honest, like you said, there wouldn't be much difference, and it's not something essential anyway.
Yeah. It won't ever be like BMG or Mesh Tools, because I just want to be my own person and not copy anyone, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people, I think that the following that you've got, Chris, people buy your products because they're your products.
Yeah, and I've always said that, like, my stuff is, I want it more to be considered like art, rather than, trying to make a pure copy of what's in real life, because obviously I can't do that. I live thousands of miles away, so kind of at a different disadvantage for that. But you know, I like to put my own artistic style. I get it as accurate as I possibly can, but I think at the end of the day, it's just if I'm happy with it, that's what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
I'm not really set out to please people, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
You were saying about the cab controls. I've just sat outside the cab playing with the reverser, and it looks so good. Just seeing it going around. I know it's little details, but it's those little details which really add to the immersion of the sim.
Yeah.
I mean, one day I would hope that I know this. I've mentioned this before, but I would hope that Train Sim would evolve to a point where you could have animated characters in the cab. So if
that would be so nice.
I know it would be an insane amount of work, but if it was done right, you know, if you notched a reverser back, then the driver actually has his hand on the handle and turns it, you know?
Yeah, I know you can do it. It just takes the skill to be able to animate people and make people, and it would be very complicated.
To be fair, machines are a lot easier to model than organic stuff is.
Yeah.
I mean, your sheet of metal isn't going to bend weirdly or wobble when it moves or anything like that, whereas, human arm is.
Yeah.
Also, I just got a bit of wheel spin with these Pullmans.
How many Pullmans did you take?
Just 10.
What, with a T3?
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Reese, you know me, I like a challenge. If you can't drive it, it means you've got enough wagons on.
You like a
It
challenge.
should be able to do it.
You need like 4 Class 66s on the back to get that up the hill.
I'm betting you I won't.
If he goes and does it now, it would be insane. Guion says he spent a whole day working on animated people and it was a nightmare. Yeah, I know. It's the thing is, I know that when you look at things and you say, "Can we have this? Can we have that?" There does have to be a limit where it's not realistic anymore to expect people to make them. But,
yeah, and plus you're working to a limitation of like a almost 10-year-old game.
Yeah, exactly.
If they remade Train Simulator and they actually fixed all the bugs with it, just think how much different it would be.
It would be a new game.
It would be... I mean, like, Chris's models, there is absolutely no reason you couldn't use them for a brand new game. But if you could use a brand new game, they'd just be so much better. Not because of the models themselves, but just because of the game. People forget how much a train sim is actually the fault of the game, not of the stuff in it.
Oh yeah. That's most of the train sim dumps. Well, actually, I'd say probably all of the train sim dumps and everything I get is because of the game.
Yeah.
Driving past the half-built, half-demolished Penwyth Junction Motive Power Depot.
Yeah, so for everybody watching who's got used to seeing the Penwyth Valley Railway as it is, this is pretty much the normal Eswaith branch with a few minor modifications that I made. But in essence, it is just the Eswaith branch. We're not going to be seeing that for much longer.
It's going to change.
Sam is working on lots of changes.
Driving over the people's gardens.
Yep.
So what region is this route anyway? Well, I know it's not real, obviously, but like... what is it?
Sort of like a pseudo-northeastern route, isn't it, Sam?
The original S-Way.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be London North Western.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
It is Welsh, isn't it? Like Northern Wales?
I don't think
so.
The
original route isn't, but the Penwyth Valley Railway is.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I did kind of steal the route a little bit. Not
but
sure
yeah.
how happy Robert McGregor was with me doing that, but
It's the over the hills route.
I must admit I didn't actually ask how he felt about it, but I assume that he wasn't overly happy with it.
Sat like a every time.
Haven't you talked to him like since then though?
No.
Oh.
He's probably got a photo of me printed on his wall. He throws darts at it every day.
But yeah, the modified route is going to be set in Wales again. And it's basically going to be set as sort of a weird London North Western / Great Western hybrid.
So, for those of you who were listening earlier, well, we'll say it again. Basically, the history of the line, we're working out the history to get dates and stuff, but the line was built from the colliery to the docks by a private company, so that they could haul coal to the docks to be exported abroad. Then the line, there was an accident and the line closed down because they basically ran out of money. And then after a couple of years of lying abandoned, the London North Western decided to get a slice of that, and they invested heavily in rebuilding it, new infrastructure, and then they take over operations until pretty much the First World War, when it gets commandeered, as all railways were, for the war effort. And then after the First World War, they get grouped, so the LNWR becomes a part of the LMS. However, due to the area that the route is set in, it falls under the jurisdiction of the Great Western Railway.
Basically, the main line is Great Western, but the branch line is London North Western.
And the thing is, there is some realism to that, because a lot of the Valley's lines were they had joint running powers. So the LMS and, or the LNWR would have run trains, and then the Great Western would have run trains pretty much on the same metals, although in some cases, with the private railways of South Wales, they even made them, because they wouldn't agree on anything, they made them build their own station further up the track. I think there was one town in South Wales where they had 4 separate railway companies with their own separate stations competing for passengers. So it was...
There's quite a few Great Western joint lines between like the LSWR, the Great Central, London North Western.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of idea behind it. And then, of course, in 1923, it's taken over by the Great Western. They do some infrastructure improvements where they add, as and when things need replacing, they build their own things. Then, of course, it's World War II, taken over by the government for for war effort. Then nationalisation, BR, and then pretty much by 1963 the line is closed down.
Never to reopen again.
For 5
Because
years.
Cancelled.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. It's all over and done with.
Did we mention before as well? Over the Hills, we've decided is going to be the name of the members magazine for the society.
There we go.
So that's where the name sort of comes from. Well, it's not where it comes from, but it's where it does now.
Well, it doesn't really come from that. It came from an old song which was used in the Sharp series.
Yeah.
That's the original thing of the name. But, potato, potato.
Tomato, tomato. Chris, just if you're on Discord at all, I'm streaming my screen now. I'm driving the Australian reskin.
Oh, right. Let me...
It's handling the 10 coaches absolutely fine.
You're kidding me, right?
Spare.
You've been modifying the physics again, haven't you, Sam?
I haven't touched the physics.
You
honest.
liar. You're a liar, Sam.
No, I haven't touched the physics. I was thinking about it because I didn't think it would hack it, but I haven't touched them.
I think these used to do boat trains.
To Southampton?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't remember exactly what the T3s used to do. I know it was passenger trains, obviously, but I guess they were just made of all work, really, for passenger traffic.
They do seem like pretty sprightly engines. They probably get short passenger trains or lightish tonnage passenger trains off the line quite quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely an express passenger loco, isn't it?
It's not a T9, obviously, but it does it.
Yeah.
So I think T9s were probably the best express locos they ever built for that railway.
Not the prettiest though, are they?
Yuri just ruined them, in my opinion, because they got ugly. But before, when Drummond made them, they were good looking.
They're alright.
It just looked like a Cali logo.
Yeah. For me, it's anything with outside cylinders but inside motion is an instant beauty.
Just driving past the Earl of Penwyth.
Are we crossing over at Penyog?
Yeah, we'll be doing a token exchange at Penyog.
Lovely jubbly.
The thing is, we've been talking a lot over the years about multiplayer and train sim. I think it would have to be something that's done after Dovetail officially abandon it.
Yeah.
It would have to be some form of legacy modification or something.
I think the only way you're going to get multiplayer in train sim is if they go the same route that MSTS open rails kind of thing, where they just make it open source because they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And then someone else is going to have to basically make the game good.
Which is a heck of a...
When it does happen, because it will happen, eventually Dovetail will just milk it dry and give up.
Yeah.
I can't see, like, multiplayer, I could see you being able to see other trains, but then, like, token exchanges, it'll just be like a little token that appears in the cab or something.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's okay, but...
Oh, that would be fine.
It'd just be like, even if you didn't actually show the other person's train in it, but you just had, like, their position. So if you had, like, more signalling, but not models, even something like that would work.
I mean, what I would do, if I was to implement multiplayer, there's two different routes you can go. You can go where you can have the player interact with everything on the route, and basically just be a normal multiplayer, or have like you would have your train driving as you are right now, but like you'd have other players with their trains, but they would be like ghosts, kind of.
Yeah.
So you can see what they're doing, you can see them moving around, and obviously you wouldn't ram into each other, they would just clip through you because they would just be a ghost basically. But that way you can at least interact with each other. Probably not the best multiplayer, but it would be something.
The thing, I wouldn't mind, you know, even if you could crash into other people, you'd have to have separate servers for the people that want to dick around and others that don't want to dick around.
Yeah, that would be the best way of doing it, is just have different servers, obviously.
I think you'd want to do it as, like, invite-only type things.
Yeah.
So you'd want it to be like, you can do multiplayer, but you've got to have, like, the same code as someone else to access it.
Ultimately, I think they would have done really well giving, like, a, making Train Sim a bit like Skyrim. Because look how good Skyrim is with mods and people who have improved the game and stuff like that, making it kind of like open sourced a bit.
Yeah.
But Dovetail kind of like don't know how to make money, so they won't do it.
They're a bit like Mr. Krabs, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
I am going way too fast, but that's okay.
How far are you from Pennyog?
I'm there.
Oh, you're there. I'm just about to pass through the tunnel.
I'm just pulling into the platform.
That's actually worked out quite perfectly.
Despite Train Sim derping out.
There you go.
Oh, it looks so much better without modified platform. I'm sorry, I've got to get a screenshot here.
Oh, feel free.
I'm going to have to put alt signals back in, I am dreading that.
Yeah, the signalling. Definitely don't use the LNWR signals.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
It would have to be, I think, the Armstrong Powerhouse ones.
Yeah.
The ones that actually look nice and make a noise when they operate.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so good. I've got to decide on a station building for this place now, because I've ripped the old one out.
Oh. You've turned into Dr. Beeching with regard to the route, haven't you?
I have, but the difference is Dr. Beeching never had any intention of rebuilding them once he'd scrapped them.
True. Looking at the Beeching report, I've been reading a little bit into it, and it does look like a lot of bullshittery went on in writing it.
Yeah.
Like, some of the things that they came up with, some of the ideas where they're talking about routes that need to close because other alternative routes exist, but then they're saying, oh yeah, another route exists, but you're going to have to take a bus to here, swap buses, take a bus to here, then double back on this bus, and then get a train from here to here, and then woof, you're in your destination.
Well, basically just capitalism at its finest, wasn't it?
Essentially, yeah.
I think your regulator's open, Reese.
Yeah, it was slightly.
Right, Reese, we are both stopped in Penyog, so we can hop over the footbridge and do his token exchange, get
Yeah.
us quick coffee.
We'll have a quick cup of tea in the mess room. I hope your engine cleaner goes to get bacon sandwiches from the restaurant.
Never mind that, my engine cleaner's been tight at front of Loco, polishing it since we set off.
Oh, right, okay. Gotta clean them brasses.
Gotta clean brasses, especially since the reskin have got a brass dome,
Oh, nice.
which I need to do some work on. The texture isn't brilliant for it, but it's not.
I tell you what, when I was back in the day doing engine turns, it was only on a small Bagnall. But after one trip up the line, we'd get to the whistle in, and then I'd be looking at the top of the tank, and it was just covered in soot.
I've had
After
work on that.
one run.
Yeah. Worst one I've ever had. It were on Bahamas, and it was a day of the royal visit as well.
Oh, God.
We were on shed at Haworth, we'd lit it all up, and the Loco was absolutely spotless. And, you know, you've seen BLS cleaning standards. When I say spotless, it was literally spotless.
Yeah.
The second we opened the regulator, literally, first chuff, and it was completely black. 'Cause basically it had carried water through.
Oh, great.
Basically, it was just wet soot.
Excellent.
So, by the time we'd done a complete rotation of the wheels, the whole thing needed cleaning again.
Nice.
But it's sod's law. Whenever we clean the engines, it's going to get mucky instantly. Normally it rains, but whenever we don't clean them, we know it's going to be absolutely glorious weather and it'll stay exactly the same condition. Right, are you clear of the back of the section?
Yeah, I'm out of your section, and I've got my
Right.
tea, and my engine cleaner's just bringing bacon sandwiches back from the mess room.
Right, I'm off. Pullman passengers paid special fares and they're currently being served like compulsory Yorkshire puddings.
When you say compulsory Yorkshire puddings, it means they literally have to be witnessed eating them by you.
They aren't allowed to leave until they've eaten the Yorkshire puddings.
It's like if you have to prove that you've eaten them with DNA records of your teeth to prove that it matches the feces that ends up in the carriage toilet.
What
Yep.
are you talking about?
I'm just making shit up.
I have not paid attention. I just started listening at teeth and poop.
It's probably a bad time to come back to the conversation then.
AWP live stream.
Welcome to AWP.
P.
Oh, the tunnels look so much better now, Reese.
Yeah, with your modifications to it.
Yep. I've replaced all the track inside the tunnels as well, so instead of having like that really terrible tunnel track, it's actually got normal track and a tunnel loft around it.
Oh, nice.
So it's actually a proper tunnel rather than just early Train Sims version of a tunnel.
Yeah.
I got some assets to send over to you as well if you want them.
Yep.
Some custom assets I've made.
I will take absolutely anything.
I mean, they're primarily Cali, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can reskin them if you want.
Is that like the poster boards and that?
There's some poster boards. I've got some station signs. There's a canopy bridge.
Ooh.
There are canopies.
Canopies are good.
Station lamps. Some people.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely excellent.
That'd be fantastic.
The station lamps are actually really nice. Even though they're Cali designed, it's not obviously Cali, and they're like a lot better than some of the lamps that you'll get in using just the default Great Western lamps all the time.
Yeah.
And of course, you could just reskin them into whatever color you want to.
Well, what we were thinking of doing for the route is because it's LNWR built, that some features of it will be LNWR, but sort of either painted Great Western or, like a mishmatch of them.
Yeah.
See,
I'm actually
what-
making some LNWR assets for the people who are making the LMS route, I believe.
Nice.
So I got some LNWR assets to make soon, which I can give as well.
I'm at full
Yeah.
valve.
Anything LNWR would be really helpful.
I've only just realised there's a massive factory here at Pennyog.
Yeah, there is.
I've never seen that before. I've
Yeah.
driven this route about 500 times. I've never seen that factory.
Should also mention, Reese, Locomotive. I've had some more thoughts about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to move it from where it is.
Well, where are you going to put it?
Basically, where Locomotive is now, I'm going to make it a load of sidings and stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be the exchange yard.
Yeah, there's going to be a few buildings and that there, but the main bulk of Locomotive is going to be a bit further up the valley from Penwyth heading towards Llandudor. And I've not quite decided exactly where yet. I need to have a bit of a scout out, but I'm going to try and make it so that it's visible from the line,
Yeah.
but sort of in the distance. And then there's going to be a short branch line between the station and the colliery.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Just-
have the if you can have the exchange sidings visible from the railway, and then of
At
course
least-
the colliery
There's
engine shed visible.
Yeah, basically the engine shed is going to be in the yard at Penwyth. I'm going to make it so that the shed and like a little platform for staff and all that sort of malarkey is in the yard. But just make it so the actual like pit head and all that's a bit further away. Just so that there's a bit of a point to having locos there to operate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be good when it's done. I've had a look at the Stairmore assets. Some of the engine sheds are really nice because they have like little rooms on the interior.
Oh right, yeah.
I'm going to use them along with the, you know, is it East Midlands Core Route or something like that?
Yeah, is that the one in the 40s that Jared did?
Yeah. Basically, because that couple of workshop assets with it, like workbenches and that, I'm going to stick them in the little rooms in the engine sheds. So it'll have like a little workshop area.
Nice.
Hey Sam, did you see what I put in Train Sim last night?
No,
It's
I
in the
didn't.
it's in the screenshot chat.
I shall have a look.
Is it another SCP thing?
Close.
What is that? Oh my god. Chris, why do you do this to us?
Let me see if I can get a proper render of it.
You need to just stick them in random, like, add-ons.
That'd be great. Well, I mean, there is a problem with doing that because copyright stuff, but
Yeah. Grab some nice royalty-free models to stick in. Of random, terrifying stuff.
if I was a route builder, I would just stick that in the route and not tell anyone and let them freak out.
Oh, I've done a few things like that with a modification for the hills.
Yeah, I've seen a few of the things that you've done, Sam, and they're quite clever.
Yeah.
And then just play oblivious, so you can be just like, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the idea I had for the Caledonian whistles, Chris. So
Oh yeah, I still
in-
have to do that.
1 in every 10,000 whistle blows is actually the bagpipes, but then it never happens again, which leaves you
Just
in
in-
doubt. It's like,
And then I just play oblivious, like I don't know what they're talking about.
yeah, exactly. Like nobody will ever find out apart from like 1 or 2 people, and then you'll be like, "What are you on about?" And then they'll
No
spend.
one will ever believe you.
Nobody will ever believe you.
There's actually a funny story about something like that. You know Bill Murray, right?
Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah, he walked up to someone during a party, just this random stranger, and they were eating a sandwich. He walks up to them, grabs their sandwich, takes a bite out of it, hands it back, and just says, "No one's ever gonna believe you." I was like, that's amazing. Because no one's gonna believe that freaking Bill Murray took your sandwich.
It's one hell of a story, though, isn't it?
That is the ultimate way to fuck with someone.
Although he has kind of ruined it a bit by going on a live show and just telling everybody, but although, I suppose it's not the worst.
But even so.
Technically I've committed a driving offence that I opened a reg and started without blowing a whistle.
That's okay, you've committed numerous railway war crimes.
Yes, war crimes?
But, I mean, what?
War crimes? What war crimes have I committed?
Sausage wine.
Oh yeah, chemical weapon warfare. JL Rosie Fan 98 has just subscribed. Hello and welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy it here. We are now 8450 subscribers. That is a number of a pannier tank, I think. I don't know whether it's one that survives or not, but...
Oh, Chris, you know you were saying that to Mary.
The what?
To remind me of something else. Rowan Atkinson, you know who plays Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was. They were like shopping at a car place or something. And there were like a guy there he met, and he had this sort of vague look of recognition, and he goes, "You look just like Mr. Bean." And he's like, "That's because I am the person who plays Mr. Bean." And I'm like, "Nah, no, you're not." With him over the fact that he looked really like Mr. Bean, but wasn't actually him. But I guess it is a bit odd, because you never really think, oh yes, celebrities just need to go get some car parts.
Well, they are technically normal people as well, aren't they?
Exactly, but it's just you never think of it, do you?
There's one of the comedians, I think it was Russell Howard, but he was just saying about how he went to like a co-op or something to buy some eggs, and they're literally like, oh, can you sign the eggs? He's like, well, I just want to buy some eggs. Yeah, but we want you to sign them and have your autograph. But I'm buying the eggs, so why would I sign my own eggs? And it's just really funny.
Sign them and sell them on eBay.
Yeah, exactly. Legitimate signed eggs.
Did either of you watch that video stuck in AWP and Discord thing?
No, I've not seen it yet, but I plan to watch it.
Give it a watch. It's only like 10 minutes or so, but it's absolutely brilliant.
I think we're an hour into the live stream. I've only just stopped blowing off.
We're an hour into the live stream and I've only done half an hour of driving.
Oh god.
It trains in. Oh, actually, that's...
It's the first time I've had to shovel coal.
I've just remembered performance mode exists.
Hooray for performance mode!
It's brilliant. It's visible increase in frame rate, and I just love that.
It does really make a difference, doesn't it? There's only sometimes that I need to use it. There's certain routes which are just make any computer turn into a potato, and then there's
Is that again?
There's what?
Is that another shot at Jared again?
Not all necessarily. There's only, you know, the Dufferin-Lecky route. There's only a couple of places on that route where my computer really struggles. But the rest of the time it does alright. It is a lovely route.
Could you imagine what we could do with this game if they actually optimized it to be like a standard game?
Well, just have a look at some of the stuff Jared's done and imagine
I've seen it.
Train Sim wasn't potato. Like, if Train Sim could handle 20,000 assets a block as opposed to 2,000 assets a block.
I mean, even just imagine what I could do with locos if I didn't have like a limitation on textures and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ah, there's so much you could do. Well, speaking of that different Lucky, I need to go revisit that now Stairmore's out.
Oh, again?
That's one of 4 route building projects I'm using Stairmore assets for.
What do you want to change on Dufferin-Lecky? Because it's quite good.
It is good, but basically I'm wanting to go and sort of... There's a few bits in it which are not quite authentically early 1900s, which I want to go swap. It's in, you know, cobbled roads, sticking them in, and just little stuff really. But it's like the engine sheds. I want to use one of the engine sheds from Stainmore.
That's it's a difficult one to say because narrow gauge, you're really limited on what stuff is available.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing for me isn't so much the route building, it's more the actual locos.
Yeah, we need more narrow gauge stuff.
Cough.
There's only like one pair
Just a
where,
little bit.
but there's only one pair where narrow gauge steam loco, really, isn't there?
That's chorus.
The chorus. There's the chorus one and the chorus expansion pack. The diesels,
Yeah.
which they're okay, but they're not really much in the way of fun, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and there's only like one of them.
Yeah.
But
That's why I'm kind of curious about the Alice.
that would, honestly, Chris, I would love you so much if you did just
Glory Hunslet.
I'm gonna do it. It's just a matter of when I'm gonna do it because I'm so busy.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because there's only been one Payware narrow gauge loco,
Yeah.
so
To be
I don't know if the interest is even there. But I'm still gonna do it to try.
I think the interest would be there, like anything in train sim, as long as there was something to use it with.
Yeah.
Like, it's the issue with train sim, you're always going to have the balance of, you need the locos and rolling stock, but you need the routes to run it on, so it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
I mean, that's why I've done all these pre-grouping locos with no routes, because now it gives people incentive to do them. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, why are you going to make a Cali route or a pre-grouping route when you have no locos to run with it? So it's like, kind of defeats the whole purpose, but, I mean, now you got more than enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I reckon that route Jared's got, something to run on there would be nice. I'm also thinking I might do some more work on the quarry on that. Add a few more bits and bobs around there.
I love the way that Jared has created the quarry and the incline and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a really clever use of assets.
See, me and Jared have a brilliant partnership. He can actually build routes and I can actually tell him what to do. But that's generally how it goes. He'll go, oh, I want to do such and such a route, and I'll say, oh yeah, well, you should do this, this, this and this with it.
And he goes,
And,
okay.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, he's a very talented route builder. It's amazing watching him work as well, because he can do like American route is done, the logging one.
Oh yeah.
Scenery on that he did in like a couple of days, whereas for me to do like it'd be a couple of months.
Oh, easily.
It's just he's so quick with it. That's what I find amazing.
Need to get him in contact with the Stainmore lot, because they have a lot of knowledge on optimization of what TS requires, because they know like how many assets you can have per block before the game starts, pooping itself.
Yeah.
I could probably learn a lot on that front.
To be honest, I think what Jared needs is someone who can make custom assets for him.
Yeah.
If we can find someone who would be willing to work with him for making custom assets, he could make some absolutely brilliant stuff.
If I wasn't so busy, I would do it, but like
Yeah.
I said, I'm busier than ever.
Oh yeah. Hey Reese,
Yeah.
finally starting to struggle.
Are you really starting to struggle? It's almost as though somebody warned you that this was going to happen.
Hey, I said I'm starting. I am. Jeez, come on man, give me some credit.
I will give you some credit. It's only you that would think it's a good idea to take 10 heavily laden Pultman coaches up a very steep hill.
She's making it though.
I'll be very impressed if she does. It is a bit of an unfair load to give to an engine like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I've got a Great Western tender on this, so that'll keep you happy.
Oh, you used the one from the Aberdare, didn't you?
Yep.
Nice.
Which is actually incredibly similar to the Australian ones.
I believe it was rumoured that the Great Western did sell tenders to Australia.
Well, the loco this is based on is actually I think it were a Bayer Peacock from Manchester.
Yeah.
So it is actually a British loco. Oh dear, that's not good.
Are you struggling?
I just wheel slipped a bit, a lot.
Just a little bit, a lot.
Stop it.
So, on a scale of like wheels being motionless to going full blue Peter, how would you say your wheel slipped?
I'd say I handled it well, but I'd say it's basically lost a significant amount of the momentum I had.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's you know when a train's going and it sort of does a chuff 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 chuff. It's that kind of wheel slip.
I must admit, I am gonna miss running in on the main line when the new route is done.
Oh, I don't know. The new running is quite nice.
The thing is, it's more realistic for it to go that way.
Yeah, basically, my thought was I don't want it to have to cross over the entirety of the main line. Because I thought it would be a bit unlikely that BR would grant them permission to run with that.
Oh no, there's absolutely no way. If you look at Totnes, the South Devon Railway originally were going to run into Totnes, but then because of that exact reason, they didn't want a preserved operation crossing over main lines, which they want to run high-speed expresses on. They were just like, nah mate, you can bugger off.
Come on T3, you can do it. I'm now going 1.6 miles per hour.
1.6.
Yep.
Excellent.
1.4.
Have you stalled yet?
Not yet. But I can't put any more power on.
I'm just rolling into the final station. I should really, when I do these runs on this line, I should follow the timetable, really.
Probably. And I have now... Oh, no, I've not quite stalled. Oh, this little soldier.
She's still fighting on.
Oh, that's brilliant. I've got to 0.1 miles per hour. But it's wheel slipping just enough to keep it going at 0.1 mile an hour.
Goodness.
Which means it's still doable.
You're such a coalboard guy. You really are. It's literally everything about you says National Coalboard.
Industrial, industrial, industrial.
Yeah. Go back to Leeds.
Not on Leeds.
Oh no, not Leeds.
It is my policy that it'll be right.
It'd be right.
If you can make it out of Leeds, you can go anywhere in life.
Leeds, the London of the North.
London?
Are you from London? Does that mean you're Scottish?
Reese, you've got to see this.
What? Are you showing it on Discord, are you?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Where is it? Wait, are you streaming it?
Yep.
How are you streaming it? I can't see it being streamed.
I think you have to join the stream.
Yeah, basically, if you like click on my picture thing in the recording chat, then you should be able to see it.
It doesn't show anything for me.
Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on desktop.
Alright, so you're on desktop. If you go down to the chat we're all in, yeah?
Yeah.
It should say that I'm live.
No, it doesn't.
Huh. Well, that's odd.
Maybe the permissions are not set up.
You should be able to see it, because Chris can see it.
Maybe he's got more permissions than me.
Wrecked.
I know. Get rid.
Teaching
Right.
Reese how to use technology.
Have
I
a look
think.
now.
Yeah, now it is. Did you change something?
Yeah, change your permissions.
Yeah, I told you. See? 0.1 miles an hour, Chris. Sorry, Sam.
Still going though.
I admire your optimism there, but that is. She is a stalled.
She is not stalled.
She is stalled, mate.
She's still moving.
Oh, God.
You're lucky. I was about to say, okay, boomer.
Right, let me stop watching that, because it's going to kill my frames. Back to...
On the hair.
What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna go back the other direction?
Yeah, I'm going to head to the depot, and then we'll go back the other way. I got to turn on the turntable first.
He's gonna see if he can catch me before we get off this hill.
Well, considering you're moving literally at inches per hour, I don't think that'll be hard. Change here for Newport and Cardiff.
What about Old Port?
Old Port. There is no Old Port.
Then why is there a new one?
Because the old one exploded in a nuclear accident.
Ah. Sausage wine?
That's how Newport came to exist, because of the Chernobyl-style nuclear disaster. Let's set the road. Duff.
How long does this hill go on for?
Quite a long way, if I'm honest.
Do you know what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking? Emergency class 66.
Nah, I'm thinking set back and ignore the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do that.
You might need to get over the Alps.
God, who built this route?
I know, right? Must have been a real sadist.
Probably a Welshman.
What do you mean Welshman?
He's probably Welsh.
I
It's like the
didn't
worst
build-
insult. He's probably Welsh.
Well.
A Welsh, not well.
You're so funny, Sam.
One tries.
Awkward silence. Rhys Jones has got it right. The best thing about Newport is the roads that lead away from there.
Yep.
There are a few alright roads. Most of the roads are pretty crap.
Funny, because, you know, Lancashire has that exact same thing.
What, crap roads?
No, the best roads are the ones that lead into Yorkshire.
Oh, right.
Hey, doesn't even have roads. They just have mudslides.
They have those stone tile roads that were built by the Romans 3,000 years ago.
Just cobblestone.
Yeah, cobblestone,
Yeah.
that's the one. Horse and carriageways.
It's funny, because
Eventually, you'll get roads.
we do have one of the most famous cobblestone roads in the country. Which is, of course, the wonderful Haworth Main Street. Which actually currently has a whole, like, 1 metre by 1 metre patch of tarmac on it, because they were digging it up to do some work. Well, I'm moving at 20 mile an hour now, Reese.
What, backwards?
Maybe.
That doesn't count as succeeding, that counts as failing. I've done it enough times to know how much of a failure it is.
I've not given up yet, Reese. If at first you don't succeed, in your case I cheat and win, in my case, take a run up.
Oliver the Great Western Engine says the worst thing about Newport is its scrapyard. Did you know that Cashmore's was actually built on the site of Newport Old Dock? And nobody gave a crap. Okay, awesome. Moving right along.
Worst thing about Newport. Newport.
It's new and it's a port. It was actually the first place in the country where the Romans did land. So the Romans must have liked it.
No, that's why they left and didn't come back till several years later.
They were murdered by the Scottish. Haven't you seen that film Centurion?
Nope.
Oh, mate, that is a really good film.
Yeah.
Basically, a Roman legion went north of Hadrian's Wall and got completely murdered by all the Scottish people.
That's just because the Scottish people knew they'd come from Newport.
Exactly. That's pretty much what happened.
Scottish people don't like anyone, even other Scots.
Damn Scots, they ruined Scotland.
It's right with Scots.
Apparently they're scrapping loads of Mark IIIs. Oh, right, not in Cashmore's. That's Sim's scrapyard in Newport Dock. Hey, somebody's finally left a good comment. LJ Corky says the best part about Newport is it's not LMS. Whee, shots fired.
Oof.
Shots fired.
It's such a dump. Come on, it's a well-known fact that LMS is the best way.
Well.
Well.
Literally their motto. It's what I love about it. It's just like, anyone ever argues with it, it's literally their slogan.
I find it quite funny how we're actually friends because we have such enemyistic views on railway companies.
I mean, we can all agree Southern's the worst.
What's the worst?
The Southern.
Yeah, agreed.
As I'm driving a Southern engine.
As I've just made a Southern engine.
Pre-grouping Southern stuff looks nice, but
Yeah.
it's all Southern. It's always the odd one out. It's like, oh yeah, LMS or Great Western or LNER, and Southern. Well, we just don't talk about Southern.
Riso Chacon says, wasn't Barry's scrapyard built on a dockyard? Yes, technically it was. In fact, there is a fellow who I'm friends with on Facebook who is making a South Wales route, and he has made the full Barry docks, including the area that was used as a scrapyard. So I'm kind of hoping I can persuade him to let me have access to the route and stream it, and also maybe use it for Over the Hills. It would be nice to actually use the real Barry scrapyard, wouldn't it, for the Barry scrapyard scene?
Like Barry Scrapyard, the whole of Over the Hills is just going to be so different.
It's going to be a brand new series.
Yeah, I've rewatched some of the old stuff, and I was just watching it thinking, wow, it's going to be so much better. Not that I'm saying the old one was bad, but...
Wow, you just threw shade. You're just gonna let him do you like that, Reese?
He's already been deleted and blocked on Facebook. I'm never going to speak of his name again.
Fine, I will take...
Ooh, just before I carry on, sorry to interrupt, I've got to show everybody in the live stream this feature. This is like literally the weirdest thing I've ever seen in Train Sim. I got to do it before we carry on.
You're not going to, like, offload all the coal from your tender up the ramp or something, are you?
If I could do that, that would be hilarious. Yes, I would do it, but I don't think I can. No, it's this water crane. You got to watch it.
Right.
Let me just stop in the right place.
That was a wheel slip.
Yep. Right. Full steam ahead.
And I think that'll do us there. Brakes on, please, drive. There we go. Let's see. Oh, SJ Media has donated 10 DKK. I guess that's Danish krona. And has said, message retracted. Okay, excellent. Good talk. I'm glad we had this talk.
Oh, no.
Great chat.
Oh, I know what water tower you're on about.
So, for everybody watching the live stream, Watch this. This is literally the weirdest thing I've ever seen in Train Sim.
It's cursed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, this is...
I need
Big wiggly tube.
this was weird. I mean, I admire the effort of the guy that he really went to the effort to animate it. But it just looks freaky. It is just so freaky.
Yeah.
There's something oddly sexual about it. Just makes you feel uncomfortable.
I was going to say, do you remember there was that, like the meme of Thomas the Tank Engine, where he pulls himself out the boiler and he's like this long grey worm thing?
Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Jaheim Williams says, I've seen so much hentai to know where this goes. Oh god, why did he have to say that? Okay, inappropriate comments coming.
I need to do a reskin of that.
Look at that big, girthly water tower.
I just wanted to show everybody before we headed off shed. I've never actually tried coaling up under one of these things in Train Sim.
That's because you never use enough coal in Train Sim to need one.
Well, I set off at the beginning of the stream. It was an hour before I shoveled coal. So, I don't need to on this route.
Yeah.
Let's see, I've never actually used this coal tower, so I'm going to try it. I don't think we really need coal, to be honest, but I just, since we're here, let's see what happens. I have no idea where the chute is. Where is the chute?
I'm giving the hill another go.
You're just going to ramp it up at full speed?
Well, no, not quite full speed, but slightly faster than before.
Yep, we're under the coal tower. It dropped about 2 lumps of coal into the tender. That was really disappointing. Is that literally how much coal I've used?
You can just imagine, can't you, in BRDs going to load up, Coleman looking at it and going, no.
Just no.
Here's your lump, off you go.
You can have 3 lumps, off you go. Jaheim says I keep getting his name wrong. Sorry. I know, I'll call you Jemima Puddle Duck. How about that?
Wah.
Wah.
It's Donald's duck.
Oh yes, Sam, with some of the curves in this depot, you're going to have to straighten them out a bit.
Yep, already done it. I've tried to make it so like the sharpest is 1 in 200.
Yeah.
Same one, that's a gradient. Radius of 200. Which is why I had such a faff round with it earlier. Because it was just like, oh my god, nope. But yeah, hopefully you should be able to navigate the yard without any derailments once I've done. Assuming, of course, you're competent enough. Which is a terrible...
I was going to say that's quite a stretch for me.
Hey, it'll make an interesting episode to Over the Hills. Episode 7, Di gets scrapped after a horrific derailment in the depot.
Well, talking of engines being scrapped, for those of you who have been paying attention on the Facebook group, remember the story I posted about the Great Western King after it hit the bridge? I've been thinking about adding that into Over the Hills somewhere. What a great... It was 1974.
Might be a little bit too far on.
Well,
I just think we are planning it last a bit longer, aren't we?
Yeah.
Which I think we need to really, just to make it a bit more realistic.
Yeah, I think the idea of trying to do it all in 1 year is just too ambitious. So
because the learn a while.
Say again?
The track work and all that alone would take a while before we even allow passengers.
Yeah, so we're sort of going to start it in 1963 when the line shuts. Then 1965 is when the Preservation Society comes up, and then 1967, or is it 66? They set up the... Oh, no. No, it is 1968, actually. I've got a timeline which I'm working on. I can't remember all the dates.
Yeah, we need to do a bit of jiggling around with them.
Bit of jiggery pokery.
Also, Reece, you'll be pleased to know, / irritated to know, I made it over the hill.
Oh, for goodness sake, you succeeded?
Yep.
It's not fair. I demand a retrial.
I demand a refund.
I did actually get a refund for those packs, by the way.
B-face.
I know it's really bad because normally if I buy something crap from a train sim developer, I just kind of go, whatever. But I just felt deceived by them.
Yeah.
The whole thing just stank, and I should have seen it before I bought it, really. The whole thing just stank. But fair dues to the developer. He did refund it, so...
What'd you get?
It was the human characters packs from Brick Kits.
Oh, right.
And they were...
I didn't know you had one of those.
Yeah, remember Bee Sting Girl? Did you ever see the screenshot?
I did not.
Yeah, basically, the characters look like they've all been stung by about 100 hornets. And
Great.
And I'm like...
I don't see what the problem is.
They are hilarious, to be fair. They're hilarious, but £4 per pack for people that literally look like they've been stung by hornets, I think, is quite deceiving.
How many packs are there?
4.
Let me see. I haven't been on Brick Kits in years.
I didn't even... Did.
Brick Kits.
So I don't recommend that anyone buys them. Knowing my luck, about 400 people will go and buy them straight away now, just because it's Bee Sting.
I'm already looking.
He's gonna go get them.
You've made it a celebrity, Reece.
Oh, characters. Here we are. Let's look at them.
You
It
can't.
doesn't help. The picture is 1 pixel big.
Yeah, that's what I mean about it being quite misleading, is you can't really see them before you buy them.
What period people are they?
There's a few different packs, I think. Some are
I
modern
see
day
here.
and some are old-fashioned ones.
Right.
Reece, did you forget to switch the points?
I might have, yes.
I might get these.
Oh, here we go. There we go, Brick Kits. From my refund.
Make a phony meme.
We've made... Oh, God.
See, Reece, it was worth refunding you because it's all turned out to be free advertisement.
There you go.
There is no such thing as bad publicity.
All publicity is good publicity. Literally Hornet Girl is going to result in sales. Oh God, stop.
Murder Hornet Girl probably said the same thing.
She probably did. I think she probably shouted, "Get me my EpiPen."
Well, do you know what I've decided, Reece?
What have you decided?
Everything looks better in Crimson Lake.
Shut up.
Do you know what else I've decided?
Get out.
Over the Hills is going to be Crimson Lake now.
No, it's not.
Ian's
You can't paint everything Crimson Lake.
He's Crimson Lake.
No.
Dice Crimson Lake.
No.
Be Crimson Lake.
Actually, Die I could kind of forgive, but...
Be Crimson Lake. The track's going to be Crimson Lake.
Crimson Lake track, that's impressive.
I reckon I could do it. I reskinned the track that's used in the Penwyth Valley pack, which is actually a reskin of the track used in this pack, in this route. So I could do it.
Fair dues.
You'd have, how would it work? You'd have to have gold rails, red ballast and black sleepers, I think.
Oh God. What time is it in game? 18:31. Let's take the brakes off.
Hey Sam, looking at photography and videos. Something you may like. It's Furnace.
Ooh, furnace. Ooh, a big lad.
Baltic.
What a fine big boy that is. Yeah, I do want to see more Lake District stuff in Train Sim. just because it's such a beautiful region of the country.
It would actually be quite interesting. I've been up to the Lake District twice now.
What is the Lake District?
Um,
Is that like Lakeside Havasway area?
yes, that's right. Yeah.
All right.
And
I don't know my routes that well, to be
it was
honest.
the railway that ran from Barrow-in-Furness to... Where did it run to, Sam?
Furness, I'm not actually sure. But it's like, the Lake District didn't have many railways. Basically, it had the coastal route from, like, Barrow to Carlisle. It had the Cockermouth, Keswick and Penrith route from Workington on that coastal route to Penrith on the West Coast Main Line. There were the Lakeside and Haverthwaite branch. I think there were a few other branch lines around the area. And then there were bits at West Coast Main Line, and that were about it really. But it's just the scenery in the Lake District is just absolutely stunning.
I adore the Furness Railway.
Yeah, it's so
It's a
nice.
very pretty railway. You got Furness number 20 coming, so
Yay!
I could do something.
When you deal a Jones Goods, I'm gonna do a Furness and a London North Western reskin of it.
Oh dear.
Nah, come on, Chris, you know me, it'll look good.
So, Chris, what can we expect next from Caledonia Works?
The J27.
Nice.
Is the next one out the door. I'm mainly working on commissions at the moment because I have 11 commissions to do, and I don't really want to put them off anymore. So I'm working on getting those out before I continue the main Caledonia Works DLC.
Yeah.
It's
So,
terrible.
and I know the J27 currently is the oldest and second most expensive commission that's been done. So I wanted that to be priority at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair enough, really.
Terrible.
Yeah, mainly just working on commissions at the moment. I could tell you what the commissions are, so you can get an expectation of what is coming out.
If you're happy telling everybody, yeah.
I don't care. It's all public anyway on the Facebook page. So I have to do the J27 next. Then it'll be the Manning Wardle.
Is that the little 040 one?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then it'll be the Cauliflower. That'll be after that.
That is also good.
Is that the LNWR one?
Yeah.
LWR 060 Goods tender engine.
Ah, very nice.
I've got
And then after that, I'm probably going to go to the C2 Atlantic.
Ooh.
The A1 Grizzly Pacific. And then, let's see, what do I got on here? I have a D20 from Northeastern Railway. A B16 from also the Northeastern Railway. A G and a G1 from the Northeastern Railway. That'll be a twin pack. Another A5/2 from the Northeastern region. Most of these Northeastern engines are all commissioned by the same guy. It's ridiculous.
Good.
And then
pretty much LM.
I have a Y14 and a J69 and a J70. And then it'll be back onto the normal Caledonia Works DLC.
Nice. So you've got a hell of a lot of stuff lined up then.
Yeah, very busy.
That's not including his list of Caledonia Works DLC he's planning as well, which is equally as massive, if not bigger.
Yeah. I have, I think, 21 DLCs to do this year, counting commissions and normal DLC. Which probably won't all be done this year, but it'll be done.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but I really doubt all that done that year.
I think on average I'm pushing out about one DLC a month.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying though, because like I did a graph of all the DLC coming out from me, and 45% of all the DLC is LNER, because all the people who commission me are mostly LNER veg. Only like 2% is Great Western, and then yeah.
You need more LMS and industrials, Chris.
Need more Great Western.
To be perfectly honest, I would rather have Great Western than LNER.
I don't know. I think there's a special place for LNER stuff because now that with the East Coast Main Line, there is a steam era route which they can be used on. All right, admittedly, it's London to York, so hopefully there will be more up north bits done soon.
I loved the LNER because it was very unique in its designs. It didn't get rid of its old stuff like the other railways. And also, I have a love-hate relationship with the Great Western because I love the Great Western mainly pre-Churchward when everything looked different and looked very cool and unique. And then you kind of get Churchward, which was alright. Some of it's a bit sameish, and then after Churchward, it's copy-paste Saint and Star. I'm sorry.
Which, I mean, it works for them, so you can't really diss them for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but as far as visual, look, it's not very pleasing to the eye.
Well, it is. It's not when you have different loco classes, but they're all look the same and all use the same.
If you gave me a castle over a GWR Saint Atlantic, I'm gonna take the Atlantic.
Well, yeah.
Or a Dean single over a castle.
The Great Western Atlantic's a quite good-looking beast, I think.
Oh yeah.
Well, you've got 2 pre-grouping Great Western locos on your list, haven't you? If you remember.
Yeah, I have the Dean single. I have an Armstrong 440, and that's it at the moment officially. I have some other things that I'm working on in secret behind the scenes.
Yeah. Tell you, I am looking forward to that Armstrong.
I love the Armstrong. That is hands down my favorite Great Western engine.
So good. It's just everything about it just looks good.
One thing you were talking about a legend with a Great Western King earlier. I was reading my Great Western book, and the Galloping Alice.
Yeah.
Well, the Great Western one, which wasn't a Galloping Alice was the industrial one. The one that the Great Western inherited was called Galloping Gertie. But there's a legend where one of the kings failed on the Bristolian, and this was probably maybe early 1930s or something like that. A king had failed on the Bristolian. So Galloping Gertie, this tiny little mogul with a 140-pound pressure boiler, had to rescue the Bristolian to take it the rest of the way on the main line.
Yeah, that sounds like an accurate Great Western story. I've heard quite a few like that. I
love it. Could you imagine this tiny little mogul pulling this, 12-coach Bristolian Express at like 30 miles an hour down the main line?
There was quite a few stories like that I've heard. There was, funnily enough, Pontypool Road. They had a little small prairie based in the engine shed to act as a banker going for the big expresses going up north out of South Wales towards like Crewe and Manchester. But there was one time where the main engine had basically failed, and they had to put the small prairie on it to get it back down, or back to wherever another engine was waiting. And they had to tackle it with a small prairie, and they said it on the footplate, it just felt like it was an earthquake because it was thundering along so fast. But it pulled it, full express.
I think the 2800 had to do that too.
Yeah, the 2800s we use quite a lot for that.
I do find it funny though, because people often look at little engines and go, oh, it's a little engine, so it can't pull much. And it's not really the case at all.
Little engines can do big things, you know.
Well, I absolutely hate that because it's from Thomas, but it's right.
I mean, a 140-pound boiler doesn't sound like a lot, but, I mean, when you take in, that's 140 pounds per square inch in that boiler. It can be a lot.
When put in the right place, it can be pretty decent power.
Yeah. And it's the fact that you know, it's like this is why I like industrial so much, because with an industrial engine, it's a lot of them are like the equivalent of a BR Class 4 or Class 5 or thereabouts. It's
Or like
none
Mardy
more.
Monster.
Well, Mardy Monster's like a Class 8 or 7 or something ridiculous.
I think it's Class 8. It's like it's got the same power output as a Black 5.
No, it's got more than that.
But it can only sustain it for a few minutes.
It's not sustaining it either. It's just the fact that they weren't designed for long distances or speed. That's the main difference.
I mean, they took Mardy Monster to the Blaenavon Railway, and they only had it on 4 coaches. But going from the bottom to the next station, they would nearly run the boiler dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. They were designed for pulling heavy loads over short distances. But that's why I love them so much, because in a preservation setting,
That's perfect.
yeah, it's why I like industrial. You can really open them up on a loaded train on a heritage line, and you can actually run them how they were supposed to be run, whereas you can't really do that with a lot of locos.
Well, goods engines are the perfect preservation locos.
Yeah,
Because they're really powerful and they are used to running at low speeds. Whereas if you take like a Bully Pacific or something like that, you're only running it at 25 miles an hour, so you're not really using it.
yeah,
I know you're going to hate me for saying it, but that's why the Great Western 4200s were the perfect loco for preserved railways.
Which one's the 4200?
The 280 tanks.
Oh,
yeah.
I love those.
And really, if you think about it, the Paignton and Dartmouth steam railway has got the perfect sort of setup, because they've got 2 of them. So on normal running days, they can just have a 4200 on each train, and it'll just pull everything up any hill.
Which the Penton and Dartmouth does have a fair hill to get up and down.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I think it's, for me, it is just that I don't like big engines on heritage lines because you can't do out with them. You feel you have to constantly hold it back. You can't let it go. Whereas,
To me, it looks weird as well.
Yeah.
Seeing this big express loco on a single line.
yeah,
I mean, it's nice that they've been preserved and they've been saved,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but yeah, you are right. They deserve to be on the main line.
it's not just that. Even the ones that are on the main line, are a lot of them held back. I mean,
Oh yeah.
certain like the 460s, not so much. But
Like Black 5s.
yeah, well, you know, Black 5s, Jubilees, that kind of thing. They're run pretty much how they would have been in BR days.
Castles are like that too.
Yeah, but it's like if you look at A4s and Scotsman and Duchess of Sutherland and that kind of thing, they'd have regularly been running at 100 mile an hour,
Yeah.
you know, and even on the main line you're having to hold them back.
I mean, you get stuff like Tornado, which
Yeah.
is kind of the only steam loco on the main line that is able to run at, more
Anywhere
decent
close.
speeds.
Anywhere
Yeah.
close
Well,
to its actual
basically-
speed, yeah.
Basically, because it's new. So, would you rather run something that was built in 2010 to 90 miles an hour, or something that was built in 1920 to 20 miles or 90 miles an hour?
Well, if you've done a proper job restoring it, it shouldn't make a difference. But,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
but
I mean,
yeah,
I can honestly say, I mean, if you look at the Great Western Kings, for example, they're more than 90 years old now. They're approaching 100, and
Yeah.
2 of them are still planned to go mainline.
Flying
So-
Scotsman's almost 100 years old now.
Exactly. So it's really, I think, this boiler ticket for Scotsman and for the King, I think it could very well be its last on the main line.
and I think that's not necessarily just because of its age either. I think that's more with a lot of heritage movements. I think there is one key issue behind the scenes which no one really talks about too much because they don't like to, but the volunteers are running out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know it's not a pleasant thing to talk about, but they are.
They're dying
lot-
off.
They are. A lot of the railways, a lot of the staff a retirement age, and within the next, I reckon almost all of them will have gone. And the question is, what happens then in 20 years? Because at the moment, there are other younger members like myself that are involved, but there's nowhere near enough to keep it running. So,
I think that's going to be the same case with a lot of stuff, like model railways. Take for instance, you know, a lot of people who are into model railways, because one, it's so expensive, but like a lot of them are like the old boomers.
Yeah.
So, and you know, they're dying off. So who's going to pick up the slack? Because I mean, the model railway community, or just railway community in general, is not as big as it was, you know, back in their generation.
Yeah.
Because there's other interests and hobbies now, like cars and, you know, other stuff.
Girls.
It's going to be interesting the next 30 years. Yeah, girls. Or boys, depending on your preference.
Yeah, that's right.
But, I mean, it's like, if you think now, think how much work they had to put in to save railways in the first place. Imagine what you would look at if you had a similar situation now.
The way I actually had a conversation with some of my work colleagues about this, and the only way to really sort of compare it today with what they were doing back then is imagine somebody shutting London Gatwick Airport, and somebody like us came along and said, let's preserve it for the future and run tourist flights with heritage planes. And they would probably, you know, people would probably look at you and think you're a lunatic.
Yeah.
But that's basically what they were doing.
Case. Well, you don't really get heritage airplane stuff.
You do, but it tends to be like...
I mean, yeah, it's privately owned, obviously, but...
museums, it doesn't...
There's only so many things you can do with a private plane, really, because it's so expensive to keep them running, and there's only so many ways you can make money with it. So that's why railways are in a good stead, because at the moment they could be used for tourist trains.
Yeah.
They can actually make money.
I do think things are going to change in the next 30 years, though. It's going to get a lot smaller, I think.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more museums and a lot less running lines.
Yeah.
Unless there's like some sudden revival for, you know, steam locos or railways in general.
Which, to be honest, there might be if, you know, when they start disappearing, people might go, they're disappearing, we need to do something about it. But I don't think the public in general has as much interest in anything nowadays. I mean, volunteer-run organisations everywhere are struggling for staff, regardless of what they are. No one seems to have the time for anything anymore.
I mean, even think about like the funding in general, because like with today's generation, a lot of kids are into trains because of Thomas.
Yeah.
But like, Thomas isn't really big for kids anymore. It's kind of like dying off.
Well,
and I mean, it's getting replaced with like other children's TV shows. Let's admit, kids are not into Thomas as much as we were into Thomas when we were kids.
No, I think you're absolutely spot on, and you can tell by the way that the company now is making all their new trains. You know, they're adding characters left, right, and centre. They're adding them in these ridiculously bright colours because they
trying to sell toys.
Yeah, because it's to sell the merchandise. That's the direction that they've taken it.
But if you have a look at just TV shows in general, look at what they are now compared to what they were when, you know, we were kids. And it's when we were kids, almost all of them were made out of models of some description. So
well, it's just the fact that like kids aren't really into trains that much anymore.
Yeah.
They're kind of into other things.
Yeah, but it's like if you have a look at Thomas then and Thomas now. I mean, Thomas then, it was a model railway. It was subtle life lessons. It was, you know, it was something you could watch and enjoy. Whereas nowadays, it's
forced down your throat.
Yeah, it's almost like Thomas was aimed. It was aimed at children, but so that the parents could watch it and enjoy it as well. Whereas now, it's aimed at like preschool kids, and they don't care about anyone else. It's all just money.
I can now relate to it because I stick it on for my son now, and it grabs his attention because of the bright colours.
Yep.
And that's what its children's TV has become. It's all about grabbing attention and
keeping them distracted.
Yeah, constant distraction. So continuous loud noises, continuous bright colours. Because it's designed to keep their attention.
Yeah.
It got very dumbed down.
Yeah.
It definitely has. But the question is, why has everything become so dumbed down?
Commercialisation.
Yep.
You could think commercialization, politics, you could think of anything and it fits.
Yep. But yeah, Reese, just for your knowledge, Thomas the Tank Engine, there are several series of it available on YouTube, of the old ones, and I definitely think you should show them to your kid before you show him the modern stuff.
Well, he's not going to remember the stuff I have showed him. He's too young.
Reese, get him started, John.
I know.
How old is he now?
7 months.
All right.
He's getting on a bit now, Reese.
I know, we're reaching the point of no return.
He's about to go out to college.
He'll be starting his footplate turns before long.
Well, I started volunteering on railway when I was 2 years old.
Well, hey.
That's when I first started going and doing stuff. And the first thing I did on railway when I was 2 years old, my grandma sat me down in the buffet at Oxenhope, gave me all the cans, and I had all the cans of pop and that to stack up in the fridge. Because, of course, to a 2-year-old, stacking cans in the fridge is a fun game.
It is.
But that's where my, obsession with railways started. And, yeah, it's something I've never grown out of, despite people telling me I would. But, yeah, I think it's a generational thing. I think technology has developed a lot more since, our childhoods.
The thing is, when we were kids, you didn't have cell phones which can play Netflix.
Yeah.
Because that's something, the continuous need for entertainment for kids now is like, with our generation, if the telly was turned off, you'd kind of go, alright, we'll figure something else out.
I turn it outside.
Yeah. Whereas now it's like, turn the TV off and it's like, Rah!
Turn the phone on.
Yeah, phone on or iPad on or other games. When did we become such old farts?
What are you on about, old fat? I'm 20.
I'm 30.
It's just like... Yeah, it's...
Talk about back in BR days.
Back in the day, on BR.
Back in the BR Western Region days.
But, yeah, I don't know, for me, I just find the history more fascinating. And
wheel slip, that's the first time I've seen it wheel slip.
Oh, yeah, Reese, have fun getting up the hills. But, yeah, for me it's a case of, I see so many people coming to railway, and I have never once seen people who aren't absolutely amazed by a steam engine. It's like every time you go to a mainline station and one comes through, everyone's like, wow, everyone's taking photos, videos, waving. And it's, it's wonderful to see like people still care about it. But then it's also, they'll all stand there and wave and take photos, but none of them would ever even think about giving up the weekends and giving up their afternoons and giving up their evenings and giving up the time to... Or
even donating to the railway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like at BLS, when they first started, they were working full 40-hour weeks, and then they were spending the evenings after work and the weekends at the site at Dinton getting everything done up. And it's just, the level of commitment there was absolutely incredible. It blows my mind every time I hear about it.
But the other thing you have to think about, though, is the world's a lot faster paced now, and you don't exactly have that kind of time anymore.
No.
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure you had that much time then. I mean, I know how tired I am after a day at work, and I know I won't be able to work on another 5 hours on top of that.
I mean, look how much I have to work to, make a living.
Yeah, exactly. But Yeah, can you imagine doing what you do, but doing half of it for a living and then half of it for fun?
Oh, did you?
Which I don't know what you do anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. New York. No, Halifax. No! California. Or California. Queenstown. Queenstown. Yeah. Technically Belfast. Belfast, Southampton, Cherbourg, Queenstown, and it didn't go to Liverpool. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No. Titanic did not go to fucking Liverpool. Olympic went to Liverpool. Olympic. You can I have a glass of squash? Can I have a glass of squash? Please. Please, can I have a glass of squash? Please. Oh,
You don't
such a
deserve
fucking
one now.
asshole. Oh, she's coming back. Please don't hit me. Yes,
You're such a wanker.
all 70 people watching think you're an asshole for not making me a drink.
They know you.
They subscribe to me and they love me. Yeah, they do.
They subscribe to you because you hold them at gunpoint.
Only a little bit. So you probably heard of that discussion with my wife.
We know who wears the pants now.
Oh, I fight back as much as I can.
Now.
Everybody's
No.
saying hi, Hannah.
While
Han.
I'm stopped, I'm gonna do some building.
No, she's ignoring me now.
She'll
I can't
bring the-
believe me and my wife have literally just had a Titanic argument.
Hey, nice pun.
That wasn't
You
even
know-
intentional there.
She'll bring you your glass of squash when you admit that she's right.
She's going to tip it over my head now.
I hope you enjoy your squash.
What have you done? Have you pissed in it?
Enjoy your squash.
What have you done to it? What have you done to it?
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Oh. I can't drink this now.
Poisoned.
It is actually really nice, to be fair. I don't know what she put in it.
That's really good pee.
Oh well, if it's her pee, then it's okay. As long as it's not the dog's pee again.
Again?
Right, I made it up the hill.
Ah, Reece, you missed the opportunity for a joke.
What?
You made it over the hill, Reece. Over the hill.
Something I've just thought of as well, Sam.
Yeah.
There's the dam. What are you going to do about the dam and the reservoir?
Pass.
Because that's going to have some story.
I'll think of something.
Could be a landslide of some form.
It was built during the war.
Could be.
It was built during the war for testing bombing rings.
Oh, let me guess. We're going to have Lancasters doing low-level passes over Mr. Davis's house now.
Chris, do you fancy making us a Lancaster?
With a bouncing bomb on it.
Reece, what we can do is we can use the Spitfires from the Victory Works wagons.
Yeah.
The ones that don't have any wings.
Oh yeah.
We can just use them.
Well, so a Lancaster dropping part-built Spitfires onto a reservoir.
No, we don't have Lancasters. We'll just use part-built Spitfires.
Isn't there full Spitfires somewhere?
Probably. Don't know where though. But yeah, we're going to have a think about the war years, but it might be a good time to fill in any of the gaps we've got in the history for the stuff on the line.
Oh yeah, the timeline is looking pretty insane.
You should start the series in like 1813.
1784 is when it starts.
When everyone's just a horse.
Yeah, everybody is literally a horse.
Reese, don't you have a thing about horses?
Don't I have a thing? Well, yes, they are. See you next Tuesdays.
And aren't horses like your favourite animal?
What? My favourite animal in terms of they should all be taken to a concentration camp and turned into glue. Yeah, I suppose.
I do. I don't trust horses at all.
Reese doesn't have personal experience.
So do I. Freaking, I don't like horses. Or I wouldn't ride a horse, I should say that.
I would never ride a horse again.
The one I was riding got spooked and then ran off with me on it and then fell, and I kind of hurt my leg really bad. So I'm like, nope.
I nearly lost my finger.
What, did you try to bite?
No, I got thrown off the horse and I landed on barbed wire and it nearly ripped my finger off.
Ugh.
Yeah, really bad. I ended up having to have plastic surgery on my finger to rebuild it.
Are you ready? Alright guys, I gotta go. It's date night, so...
But hey.
We'll catch you all on the flip side.
Alright, thanks for joining us, Chris. Take it easy, have a good rest as well, right?
I will. Catch you guys later.
All the best. So for everybody watching, that was Chris of Caledonia Works who joined us for an hour and 2 hours.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. Reese?
Yes, Sam.
Building.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just squeeing because I just realised I got a passenger head-out view right next to the locomotive.
I am visiting the colliery section at the moment and building all the engine shed and all that malarkey up.
Alright, yeah.
Or trying to at least. I give it not very long before train sim does something terrible to me. So.
Most likely, yeah, it will.
So that's a good job.
There is something so nice about having a head-out view from the carriage, just being able to watch an engine going along.
Yeah.
Especially one working as hard as I'm making it work.
Working it hard. Reese, you haven't got any coaches on.
I know I've only got 5 coaches and a baggage coach, but still, it's working really hard.
Reese, come back when you're, pulling 10 Pullman coaches like a proper train.
Come back when you're pulling to proper train.
Come back when you've got a bit more coaches on and you can put a bit more effort into it. You'll be right as rain then.
I tell you, it just feels different riding this route now from the point of view as a passenger rather than driving it all the time.
Yeah, just wait until you won't recognise it when you drive it after we've done all these upgrades. You'll be on it and you'll be like, where am I?
I gotta set the points for the next bit. Might want to do that sooner rather than later, Reese.
Today on Reese Has a Bright Idea. Delete, 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 delete. I love this. I'm just scrapping the whole route.
There's something really satisfying about going over a route and just deleting everything.
There is. I mean, I'm not quite deleting everything because I like to have some reference point for what I'm doing. I'm no good at building routes from scratch, but I am quite good at modifying existing ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is something really nice about just going through it and being like, ba-doop, 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 ba-doop.
S. Leeming says, are you going to do a Stainmore live stream? Yes, I will be. I don't know when, but yes, I will certainly be doing so.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with a plan for that. A cunning plan.
I tell you what, it's nice. I'm literally just sitting in the cab, in the passenger coach behind the loco. The last time I did this in real life was Penwyth Valley Railway.
Hey, mate.
It's the last heritage railway that I went to, and that was last year.
You have to come back again, Reese. Well, when we're open.
Well, at some point, I'm going to have to go back up to Newcastle. So, I was kind
What
of...
about,
Sorry?
what about Oldcastle?
Maybe I'll go to Oldcastle.
Oh, if you're doing the new, ideally old. New.
But yeah, if I do come to Newcastle, I'll perhaps Monday to Friday do the training course that I'll be sent to do. But then maybe on the Saturday or something, I'll drive over, spend another night in a hotel, and then drive over to the Penwyth Valley again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see you again.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Right, I've decided on a shed
Yeah?
for the colliery. And it's a bit bigger than what the previous one was, seeing as there wasn't a previous one, but I'm going to have a workshop in there as well. You've got a 4-road shed for the colliery.
It's a bit big, isn't it?
Well, yes, but what I'm thinking is, at the colliery's peak, they would have probably had that many engines.
No, I suppose, yeah.
If we're looking back to sort of the original days of the railway, if you'd have had your 2 medium-sized engines for working the line, you then had one for working the colliery to the exchange sidings, one for doing shunting, something like that. I'm also thinking one of the roads will be perhaps a maintenance road rather than a storage road.
Yeah. I genuinely can't tell you how nice it is just to lean out of the coach window for a change. It makes it feel different. Although I've messed up my settings with Railworks Enhancer Pro. The sky is like really bright white. It's overpowering.
Yeah.
I think whatever setting that is, it's turned up too high.
I don't know how to use the Pro version. I've not been brave enough to try it yet.
It's good. It's really good. It does make a massive difference, but it is...
I've got the standard version.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm using at the moment, and I've got the Pro version. I just need to work out what to do with it, but I don't fiddle with it because train sim for me takes like at least half an hour to load into a route.
Yeah.
It's just having to restart it and load in every time I make a change. It could take me literally days to get it how I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Joanna Guizdala, if I said that right. Hello, how are you, Mr. Welshman? I am okay. How are you? Scenic Railroad. What?
What?
What'd you say?
I said you're not okay, you're lying.
I am actually lying. Scenic Rail Productions is asking, will all the characters come back from the old series to the new one?
Ooh, good question.
That is a good question. Do we want to answer it or not?
I think we just did. Next question?
The end.
Some will, some won't, I would say.
I think a lot of, the characters will return, but they're not going to have the same names as before.
I think there's going to be a few changes as well. It's going to be similar, but it is going to be a new series, I would say. Well, there's going to be marked differences. But I think the main thing is it should be, once it's done, it should feel like it could have really happened. Like, I think what we're aiming for is you should be able to watch it and think it's a real railway rather than just something we've made up. Don't know if you agree with that or not, Reese.
I do. We're doing a hell of a lot of work to really get it, the history and the timeline right. We want it to, even though it's a fictitious line, it's not a real place or a heritage railway. We want it to feel as though you could literally hop in a car and go and visit it because it's all thought out,
Yeah. I mean, we've got loads of research from various heritage railways. We've sent emails to a few older members of various preservation groups and the like. So we're trying to get, like not just the locomotive history, but like the personal history as well, I guess. So yeah, I think it should definitely feel like it. I'm quite excited about it, to be honest. It's a lot of work, but it's going to...
The amount of documentation that's being made to support the series, at the moment there's 16 episodes, so there's 16 individual documents, and then there's probably another 12 documents on top of that.
Those 12 aren't actually for episodes, those are just for our reference, like information about line, characters, that sort of stuff.
Because there's now a few different people involved from all, like there's one from England, one from Wales, and one from Australia now who are involved in the production.
And hopefully there's going to be one from Germany as well.
Hopefully. So, it is becoming quite a huge project.
I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I think it's the most ambitious media project, let's say. I won't say, route building or anything like that, but I think it's the most ambitious YouTube project anyone's tried for the game. Again, just because of the sheer amount of work we're putting into it, the research and all that.
For the first time since I started, I'm actually kind of struggling on this hill. I'm not really struggling, I'm just not really gaining any more speed. I've reached the sort of maximum speed that I can get on the hill. I
kind of really hope you stall on it.
No.
Just purely because I can be then like,
Small Engines 87 is asking, do I like Queen? The answer is most definitely yes. My favourite band. Oh, is he not talking to me? Right, okay. I guess not then.
Ouch.
Mark Horner says the engine goes sniff just like Alec Baldwin. I love that song from that Alec Baldwin video when he was doing Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Do you know the one I mean? He's really something and really high. Alec Baldwin's high. Oh, Mark, what does the song go like? Go on.
Watch him not do it now and just leave.
No, he's just going to leave me hanging and looking like a retard. Oh well. Well, I've made it at the bank.
I mean, what?
It's nice to feel like a passenger on this line for once.
Yeah, we'll have to do some more work on the whole passenger side of things when we get to route building.
Yeah. Mark says he can't remember the lyrics now.
Disappointed in you, Mark. We expected more.
But yeah, with regards to things for passengers, it would be nice to make the route more built up. The towns and cities and stuff.
Well, I think building up the towns and cities can be Jared's to-do list.
Yeah.
I'll happily handle the railway infrastructure, but that's his area of expertise, really. Although I have every faith in his abilities.
IDK13 is asking about my thoughts on the P2.
Terrible engine.
Which the train sim version or the real one?
Does it make a difference? It's LNER.
Yeah, there you go. There's the answer. Next.
Scrap, build something LMS or Great Western instead.
They should scrap it and use the boiler to make a new cathedral class.
To be honest, the cathedral class is something I would actually like to see.
I would love if somebody, who had ridiculous amount of money and just wanted to waste it on something, just built a cathedral class, but put it through all like the loaded test trials. You know,
Yeah.
find somewhere in the world there must be a workshop or somewhere where they can, you know, test steam locomotives on a rolling road or something.
Yeah. See, my vision of the cathedral is basically what happens if the Great Western Railway had a go at making a Duchess.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that, I think, would be something quite interesting to see. But, yeah. In fact, Reese, do you remember that really dodgy Photoshop I sent you? Of the, the Great Bear?
Yeah.
Yep. Needs to be made.
Hell yeah.
I think that was actually a pretty good Photoshop, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't, it was terrible, but it was a good representation.
Alright, for everybody in the chat, there's no point asking me thoughts on every single locomotive. I'm not going to answer any of those questions.
But Reese, what are your thoughts on every single locomotive?
Oh, well, funnily enough, wait a minute.
Tell you what, Reese, let's ask your... Ooh, what should we go for?
Don't say it.
Oh, does say what?
Whatever you're thinking.
Fine, I won't think then. Fine,
Yeah, don't
see.
think. You're not paid to think, you're paid to do your job.
I'm not you either.
You're not paid at all.
No one pays me money.
Oh, Terry Bartlett says about the Bossman Games Merchant Navy, yes. Oh, the Heritage Railway Productions has got the words. He's really high and violent too. His addiction has killed a few. It's basically all about Alec Baldwin taking so many drugs.
Nice.
We have to get it written down because I think it's such a funny little song.
It needs preserving for future generations.
We shall preserve it at the National Railway Museum.
Yeah, go on then, Reese. Let's go for your favourite engine from each operating company.
Okay. Can it be grouping or Big Four or what?
We're thinking Big Four, but yeah, let's go for whatever.
Alright, if we're going for whatever, BR is going to be 9F.
Yep.
LNER is probably... Oof. Do you know what? I'm going to probably go and say the A1.
Yeah.
Because although I don't know. Actually, no, I'm going to revoke that one. I'm going to say the Q6.
Right.
For the, you know, the LNER Q6, because that is just hellfire as an engine.
Yeah.
I've ridden behind that on the North Yorkshire moors with the Pullman coaches. What a machine. LMS. Oof, that's a difficult one. What's my favourite LMS loco? Because I kind of think, you know, like the coal tank or the Super D, but they're LNWR, so.
But last LMS, I mean, but if you are going for like grouping built engine, then
I would say
yeah.
for LNWR it would be the coal tank or the Super D. For
Yeah.
LMS, probably the 8F.
yeah, right. And now for the biggie.
The Southern Railway.
Oh yeah, so let's go for Southern first, then Industrials.
Well, I think if we're going for industrial, I think you know which one I'm going to say.
That what is it one that has the blue and white lining? Because you like the blue and white lining.
Yes.
Brookfield number 1, is it, or something like that?
No, I think she was 2516 or something, her industrial number.
Right.
She was a Bagnall pannier tank, actually built for the Turkish railways during the Second World War, but they decided to cancel the contract and keep her in the UK. And converter from meter gauge to standard gauge as well. She was originally built as a meter gauge engine. I tell you what, it's nice to have, these coaches have got no people in them.
Yeah, I do really like the DT coaches. It's... For me, I have a weird thing with train sim. Basically, I like stuff in train sim to be modelled, not to look real, but to look right for train sim.
Yeah.
Train sim has sort of a weird cartoonish sort of look to it. Like, not quite like cartoon, but it looks like it's something animated rather than something real.
Yeah.
I like it when products are made that sort of fit with that, rather than trying to look like a real engine.
If I was to say industrial locos, 813, I don't know if she would count as industrial, or she could technically be Great Western, but I would say being pre-grouping, she would count as Port Talbot Railway.
I think I would say she's Hudswell Clark's industrial.
Well, just because she was built by Hudswell Clark, she was still built for a pre-grouping railway.
Yeah, but she was built by an industrial builder, so I'd say that makes her an industrial.
I poo-poo that idea. Stop.
I'll tell you what, these new engine sheds full of collar, it don't look half bad, Reese. I almost kind of don't want it to shut down now.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting sentimental about your new route.
I've hardly done anything with it. All I've done is put down the shed and some track, but it just looks so good.
Yeah, I've been playing Train Sim for a little while now. The Railworks Enhancer, these lights are weird, but they do look quite good with the camera.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean about weird. It's like the sky is white.
I think it's a bit too bright, so if I could adjust the settings a little, I think it would work quite nicely.
It does weird stuff with glass as well, the RW Enhancer, doesn't it? It makes glass reflective, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
See, what I want to get that kind of reflection on a loco.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for metalwork, I've found when I'm doing my reskins, retexturing copper is really easy. I've got texture for copper which looks really similar to the real thing. But I really struggle with brass, because polished brass is just, it's like a mirror but everything's got a yellow tint on it.
Yeah.
There's no texture to it, and it's just almost impossible to make a mirrored texture in train sim. It just doesn't work. AP, hit. Woohoo, yes, this looks good.
I've been streaming for almost 3 hours and I've only just realised I had my Xbox 360 controller plugged in. But I haven't used it once.
Nicely handled, Reese.
Excellent. Let's see if I can get some arty-farty shots now.
Keep the farts to yourself, thank you very much.
There we go, that's a good one. Although it's such a real shame that the train is now heading towards a tunnel that has no portal on the thing.
That's something that will be fixed. Tell you what, it looks a lot nicer with the castle portals too.
Oh yeah. I like the idea of adding that in the story, mind.
Yeah. Issue is, I was thinking then I kind of need to use something different for the rest of the route, but I don't really like any of the other tunnel portals. There's none that really seem to match.
The thing is, you're going to have to use different ones for the tunnels the other side of the colliery.
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning.
Because is there anything with Staymore you could use? Because there's, going with the history of the route, you won't be able to use them for that bit.
I couldn't see any, but that being said, the tunnel portals that I am using, those castle ones, are from the North Wales coastal, so they are London North Western designs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to have a look through and see if I can find any I like, but that's just a bit of a what if, I think, really.
Oh, King Ori says, do I like diarrhea? No, I absolutely hate them.
Oh, that honestly, Dai is a real bastard.
I know, right?
Like, you guys haven't seen the story for Over the Hills. My God, I can't believe he just murders that child like that.
We weren't supposed to tell everybody about that.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
No. Anyway, moving very swiftly onwards.
What if Dai was an XRO D280? It's almost as though we did a live stream about that.
Yeah, it was Australian.
Aussie Dai.
Good eye.
Good eye. It's actually been quite a chilled out live stream, I think.
Yeah, it's always nice when it's the chilled out one, isn't it? I mean, normally it's a train sim did this, train sim did that, oh my god, I've crashed there, oh my god, I've crashed there. But no, it's been surprisingly issueless and casual.
It's not always like that. Most of the time, well, it's nice to have an engine which isn't... You do actually still have to work it, you know?
Yeah. It's nice to be able to open up the regulator and it doesn't take off at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
That's the thing, some locos in this game, because they're so powerful, on a railway like this, you open the regulator to 8% and that's it, you're already at line speed.
Yeah. See, it's why personally I'm so interested in seeing some good industrials made. Because like I said earlier, it's what I like about them is the fact that you can run them at full throttle without having to worry about speeding all the time.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I love the austerities, but the problem is that they're showing their age now.
Yeah. And the austerities are really nice, but again, they are literally the only good, well-made industrial steam engine in the game. Which I think is absolutely shocking given how old it is. But yeah, I mean, it's like you'd think there'd be some Manning Wardles or Andrew Barclays or but no one seems to have had the interest to make one. And of course, if no one makes them, they don't get made.
I'm amazed that nobody's made an Andrew Barclay pack.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, when he gets to this Manning Wardle, although it wasn't built as an industrial, I'm going to do a ton of reskins for it because it's the closest thing we'll have had for years.
I tell you what, I'm looking back at the sunset, it looks so nice. It's just that the white glare is a little bit too much, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to say, looking forward, the sky doesn't look too bad. Do you know what I think the issue is? The issue is the sky is bright, but none of that light is hitting the ground.
Yeah.
It's like at that time of day, for that level of sun, the ground wouldn't all be black, it'd be like sort of an orangey colour.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Dai's been rebooted as a Manning Wardle at 4
Hell yeah.
Dai, you don't have the water capacity to handle this line. Oh yeah, watch me, bitch. Dai ran out of water at the end of the platform. You made him
He made it
it.
6 yards. Oh, for those of you wondering, we are planning to have a part of the story where basically an engine hits a bridge or something and rips the safety valve off
Yep, or a chimney or something.
because of the loading gauge. I'm about to kill the volunteers again for the last time. This could very well be the very last time I run over the volunteers.
It could.
I tell you what, I've never actually looked at this scene in the dark.
Alright.
So I'm going to stop real quick and have a look.
For old time's sake.
Apart from the floating inanimate objects, that it does actually look quite decent. If I just carefully avoid those. The scene with the volunteers standing around the fire looks quite good, actually.
Yeah, I'm planning on adding something similar into Landia Dog.
Oh yeah.
As you know, we said Landia Dog is going to be we're going to get that station site
Yeah.
for LSWR Railway. I'm going to plan on making the engine sheds there. I'm going to have like one road of storage, or what I might do is have like the proper engine sheds there, and then have like a little wooden shed that the volunteers have built.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got sort of an engine shed and a make-do workshop, or
Yeah.
like,
That would be pretty cool.
but yeah, I plan on having like a little volunteer area around, in which there'll be like, you know, a picnic table and that sort of stuff.
Well, in time they might be able to have camping coaches.
Yeah.
Ooh, the stars have come out. We've in the weather. We've actually passed evening civil twilight. Oh no, this is evening civil twilight.
I was going to say, are you using the AP pack?
Yes, I think so.
Good weather in the AP pack.
Sunshine Sensor saying how many times have I run the volunteers over? Quite a lot, actually.
It's probably best not to ask more questions. We don't want that kind of legal issue.
No, I know. Guys, 7:30 in game time. It's getting dark. We gotta get this engine back to the shed.
Yeah, the pubs will be closing soon.
I know, right? Oh no, the pubs have only just opened their doors. We got a whole night of drinking ahead. Let's get the fire out.
Speaking of pubs, that is something I am planning on adding into the route.
Yes, we need a pub, a railway pub.
Well, you know Landia Dog Harbour, the Landia Dog Harbour station.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely massive car park.
Yeah.
I'm planning on putting a pub in there and having it
Nice.
as like sort of railway pub type thing.
Well, I was thinking like a sort of bus depot dash.
Yeah.
You could have like
Transport.
yeah, like a sort of hub.
Yeah, hotel, pub,
Oh, I've
Sort of-
completely overshot the platform.
travellers hub for those that come on a boat late at night and are going on a train in the morning, or vice versa, or...
Well, I completely screwed that up. You've overshot again, Ralph.
Angry Welshman Productions, a professional affair.
I can't see a thing. It's so dark, I can't see. Oh. I'll tell you what, I'm getting some real nighttime nostalgia. With the fire
Yeah.
doors open.
My favourite ever run on a train, ever, was at night.
On Nunlow by any chance?
It was Nunlow's nightcap, yeah. Nunlow's last day in ticket, the last full line run she did before being pulled, and it was absolutely immense. Honestly, I cannot explain how good it was.
Oh, just a question.
Yep.
Performance mode, how do you do it?
P.
P.
Shift.
Oh, shift P. It is off, that's alright then. I just wanted to make sure that performance mode was off.
Yeah. But yeah, that last run with Nernlow was, it was good. In fact, I might stick a link in the Facebook group later if it's alright with you.
Yeah.
I was on the footplate for it, the LSWR, and I've got the whole thing on camera from leaving Keighley
Nice.
to arriving at Oxenhope. And you really can't see much apart from whenever they open the door to stick some coal on. But the sound is just immense. And we were saying at the end of it, we reckon it's the hardest that engine has worked since it entered preservation.
Yeah. Whoa!
Yeah. We had...
I just entered a massive wheel slip.
Yeah, we had on board for that run, we had some representatives from Hope Cement Works who were basically we'd invited them up to have a ride on it because they've sponsored the overhauls in the past and we wanted to see if they'd be interested in doing it again.
Yeah.
And I believe it went something along the lines of we had them invited up, they had a nice day out and that. And then it got to that last run, and at the end of that last run, they were absolutely blown away by it. Now, we don't know if that's just because we put on such a good show or because of the beer that they were served.
Well, it probably had something to do with all the beer.
Probably a bit of both, but they were sufficiently impressed with it that they decided they wanted to get it done up again. So, yeah, Nernlow is going to be restored again, which is wonderful news for me. But, yeah, it was one of those unforgettable railway moments, and I think everyone who works on railways just has that one moment which was
magical.
Yeah, forget that.
I think I've actually got 2 or 3 railway moments like that.
Go on, let's have some. You know what, Reese? It's night time. It's not quite a campfire, but let's have some railway stories around the loco fire.
Go on then. Pontypool and Blenavon Railway photo charter, 2007 when 813 visited.
Yeah.
She was coming up under the rail over rail bridge, second valve, with a heavy freight on the back for the photos. The guy on the footplate threw a load of hay on the fire just before she passed under the bridge. So she came thundering, and it's a 1 in 19 gradient for a very brief time there. So she comes thundering under the bridge, with sparks going everywhere as a little a Hudswell Clark diesel shunter passes overhead with a couple of wagons. Oh, ooh. Magical. And it was all night as well, and all you could see was the sparks. I did have a video of it on YouTube, but I deleted it, and then I deleted the raw footage as well. And I lost it. Yeah. Another one was when I was on the footplate of 6435 pannier tank on the Pontypool Blenavon Railway, driving it, light engine, while we were just waiting for people at the station before the members train.
Yeah.
And just literally second valve all the way up the steep hill. That was epic. Just arriving into the station, but sadly the station lamps are not lit, so...
Well, that's something that will be fixed.
It'd be nice, while it's dark, to actually have the station lamps on, wouldn't it?
We're using new station lamps which do light up at dark.
Nice.
So yeah, they're not particularly bright, but I thought I didn't really want to go for a really bright scene. I wanted to go for sort of a faint glow, which is a bit more realistic from gas lamps.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a faint orange glow.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the thing.
Well, there we go, chaps. We've made it back to Llandeardog Harbour with our LSWR train. And it's time to uncouple and put her on shed.
For what may be the last time using that lovely simple point arrangement, and instead of having to faff around and go backwards and forwards 20 times, which is what you're going to have to do in future.
Hooray! See, oh, it looks really sweet in the dark. The only shame is there's no station lights. I think they turn on at 8 o'clock in game.
Yeah.
What time is it now? 1941, so we're 20 minutes early for the station lights.
You know what? We'll have to see if Chris can make us a campfire at it.
That would be pretty cool.
Or like a, oh, I don't know what you call them. You know, like it's like a metal basket, like you burn stuff in.
I was showing it earlier.
But yeah, like one of them or something.
Reese Jones says, was that the loco that covered the one house at the end of the line? No, that was 5619, I think, that did that.
It did what?
They built a brand new house just by the station down at Blaenavon High Level, and one of the things is one of those really nice houses, but they put these huge glass windows on it, and you know, obviously over the years when the railway hasn't been running, nobody really noticed or paid attention, and then suddenly somebody plonked a steam railway there, and when the engine started priming, the wind took a load of the soot-covered water and just covered the window in it.
Oh wow, someone's opened the railway up again. Oh, we'll have a lovely view of the trains. Oh.
Uh-oh. Right, I need to switch the points.
What dear? What no?
Let's see if I can actually get to the head shunt. Yes, I can, apparently.
Vicious rumour. Not true.
I can't see anything except for the cab fire.
Yeah, of course it doesn't help that this loco doesn't actually have lamps because it's southern.
Because it's southern, there's no lamps. Who needs lamps? Aren't you able in the editing view to put a torch on?
Yeah.
Should we try it?
You have to add like a point light or something to it, or a gas lamp, or.
I don't know if it only works in the editor though.
No. What you'd have to do, you'd put it in with the editor. If you'd have to be stationary, because when you move it, it won't move with it, obviously.
Oh, it only works in the editor. Never mind.
Oh right, that torch.
It's really nostalgic driving at night, actually, with all the carriages being empty with lights on. I tell you what, I've never seen anything quite like this in train sim.
Well, all the carriages.
The carriage lights, yeah, but there's nobody inside, so you don't look at it and cringe.
You don't look at it and see a person with a rectangular head and think,
Yeah, exactly. But then you look in the cab, because I got the fire doors open, it just looks so nostalgic. Although it's incredibly dangerous, because I'm relying completely on the signal lights now to know where I'm going.
Yeah, but Reese, you know this route like the back of your hand.
I do, to be fair.
It's route knowledge, isn't it? It's how it works. You had to know the route because you couldn't see it.
At night
Drivers
you can't see anything.
Yeah. Drivers were expected to be able to operate trains at night just as safely as they could during the day, even without being able to see. Which, that could be something interesting to bring into over the hills.
It is a bit of a shame because there's no street lights that work either. You would expect there to be some light in a town this big, you know? But I think that's more because I've been messing with it than the actual route.
Yeah.
I think it's because of all the mods I've made and the things I've played with that's ruined it. So, yeah, it's my fault.
Always is, Reese.
It always is.
What are you playing at?
Basically, I know if I go back to the signal gantry, I'll have cleared the point so I can go onto the shed road.
Oh, look at that proper route knowledge for you there.
There you are. We're going under the shed of the signal gantry.
You're gonna have to relearn the route.
I'm going to have to start again from scratch. I'm going to have to write a new operations manual.
Yep.
Let's just do the job of the signalman. I need that point switched. I need that point. That point. Come on. I need that point is good. I need that point. And we're going to go into the Landier Dog Shed 2. Although I think we're going to have to turn around on the turntable first, aren't we?
Well, yeah, it's if we're going through proper procedure, you need to turn the engine round ready for the next day's start. You need to fill up the coal and water. You need to dispose of the fire and clear out the ash pan and the smoke box.
Oh no, we're not going to do that.
You need to report any faults found.
We've got to give them something to do in the morning, right?
No, that's all part of your evening disposal duties.
But it's dark.
Yep. It's alright, the pubs will wait for you.
No, they won't. They're serving
Come on.
they're serving my favourite ale, the Trooper.
Come on, Reese, they're not going to shut on the favourite customer.
But they might.
You single-handedly provided them enough income to keep open the entire year.
True.
And there's a line straight from over Hitler Hills, if ever there was one.
I think I am going to emphasise their drinking as well.
Well, to be fair, it was a highly social part of the job at the time. It was like you'd meet up, you'd like after work, you'd go home, have tea.
Go down the pub.
Well, no, you'd go home, have tea, go out to the railway, stick in a few hours' work. You know, at night, and then off to the pub.
Sorry it's so dark, everybody, and nobody can see a thing. We're almost finished.
Off to the pub.
We're off to turntable. Oh, I actually see the line that goes to the turntable.
Hey.
I'd be completely relying on my shunter at this point, because I can't see a thing.
Yep. Although, to be fair, your shunter probably can't see a thing either, so you're just going to have to, cross your fingers and hope for the best.
The thing is, this is why multiplayer would be amazing, because he would have a bardic lamp,
Yeah.
And he'd be telling you how far to go and all that. Right, let's go back on the turntable. I'm literally using shadows from the buildings around me against the night sky to determine my speed. Because I'm going back onto the turntable and I can't see anything. This is actually... Where's my shunt signals? There should be shunt signals on the ground. I'm not going to go into a ditch. Silly old Gordon fell in a ditch, fell in a ditch, fell in a ditch. Silly old Gordon fell in a ditch.
All on a whatever day it was morning.
I'm literally just going to have to use the F9 or the railway map to determine if I'm on the turntable or not. Because it's not even as though you hear. You can't... Oh, this is...
You can't see it at all.
I cannot see a thing. There's like a couple of silhouettes and then there's the night sky. And that's all I've got to go on. Am I even on the turntable? Oh. Almost. Keeping the speed dead slow. Oh, I think I can see a handrail. Yes, I can see a handrail. I can see the turntable. It's a shame that you don't hear a different noise when you're on the turntable.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, you can see a handrail? Well, that's handy.
Right. We'll stop her there because I think that I am on the turntable more or less. Let's just go into World Editor to see if that's the case.
How the turns have tabled.
Oh, God. Have we really reached that point?
Yep.
Oh my God, Sam, I am literally perfectly on the turntable.
I'm impressed, not gonna lie.
I'm in the editing view with the torch on. It is absolutely spot on the turntable. Right, let's
You bought it.
turn around. And I have no idea whether I'll actually be turned into the right path. One more, I think. One more from there. Right, I'm leaving the fire to die out and I'm filling the boiler up to about 3/4 full.
Oh, Reese, I'm so proud of you.
I know, I do remember a few things, don't I?
Apparently so.
I know this is probably really exciting for everybody watching the live stream, watching absolute pitch darkness.
Another fine Angry Welshman Productions live stream.
Just check the shed road is set correct. Yeah, we're going into shed number 2 for disposal. Mark's being facetious. Uses shadows to determine speed. If only there was a HUD or something to show your speed.
You know, if only there was a real F4 HUD in real life, it would be brilliant. You could see how much
Hey,
water you have. And
There is
stuff.
shed signals, but they're crap. I can't hardly see them.
I don't know if that'll be the signals themselves or your lighting settings.
Oh, it might be. I can hardly even see them. They are so faint.
Someone needs to go for an eye test. Driving whilst blind was not allowed.
Right, we're backing up to the shed now. At least I'm assuming that we're backing up to the shed.
It's just like that episode of SpongeBob. You're alright, you're alright, you're alright. Crunch. You're alright, you're alright.
I've got nothing to use as a reference now. Oh, I think I see the shed. It's not going to be the last shift on the route Mammoth Steam returns. We may run on it again, but we're not planning on it at this stage. I see the shed.
And of course, the new and improved version of Liveries is not going to be, you know, it's not like we're getting rid of it, it's just going to be better.
We're in the shed. That's it, chaps. So let me just go to the world editor to prove that I made it there.
We're going to say, watch this prove that you haven't made it. Like,
there we go. Absolutely perfectly in the engine shed. I would be taking screenshots, but because it's so dark, it's not really possible. If only if only I had a flash, right? That would have been nice.
you kind of do.
What?
You'd have to world editor and like close down the spotlight on the point light.
Yeah. How do you get the light? Do you know what it is, or is it miscellaneous?
I think so. I think they'll be listed as like spotlight or point light or something like that. I can't remember any exact ones off the top of my head, but
Right, there's a light. Let's try that. See what that does for position. It did absolutely nothing.
what light was it you used?
Lights 100 meters or something, diffuse.
Spotlight 100 meter diffuse. In that case, it's probably your train sim lighting settings, because if I remember rightly, those ones do actually work.
Yeah. There we go, it didn't work. Anyway, Tom is back. He says I should go to bed. Don't worry, Tom, we're literally on the verge of finishing. So, because it's now absolutely pitch dark and I cannot see a bloody thing, I think it is probably time to call the end of the live stream there. What time is it in game? It's only 8 o'clock and it is absolutely pitch black. Oh well. So everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been the Caledonia Works T3, London and South Western Railway T3. It was released a few days ago. If you haven't bought it and you want to go and buy it, click on the link in the video description below. It's available on Caledonia Works' website, £14.99, and it is all yours. The coaches that we've been using are from Digital Tractions, and there is a mod or a patch which has been applied by Chris to adjust the weight physics in the game. The link to that is also in the video description below. I take no responsibility for anything to do with that. That's down on you guys and Chris. This has been what could possibly be the final run on the Penwyth Valley Railway before the changes are made. We're not 100% sure yet.
It depends how lazy I am.
Depends on Sam not being lazy, so we'll see. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Remember to rate, comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one, which should be next week, where I think we may do Stainmore.
Yeah.
Which will be quite an interesting one to do.
It will indeed.
So, thank you everybody. Say goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye, Sam.
There you go. Bye, Sam. And goodbye, everybody else.